of their stars.
Mitch, we chatted to Ken Hinckley earlier and we said, what is it about the Hawks? He said, our game style troubles the Hawks. What is the game style you're expecting today from Port Adelaide?
I mean, they're very corridor centric. They use the middle of the ground a lot, and their run and handball game is really powerful. And in tougher conditions, it stands up, that type of game. So looking forward to seeing if we've improved our game enough to trouble them.
Do you have any balance to make a decision making this time of year between the tempo and the workload you have in players, or you flat chat? You just got to win everything.
No, definitely for us. You look at the ladder right now, we're flat chat. You've got to win every game now. So we've made it a little bit harder for ourselves last week with the loss. And, we know we're going to have to compete really consistently for the rest of the season to finish where we would like to.
Appreciate your time, Mitch. Good luck today.
Good luck. Cheers. Have a good call.
I like the fact that he just put that behind him last week. We know what we've got to learn. We've got to go forward here at UTAS Stadium. You see Jack Gunston, he's in form. Mitch Lewis joins him in the forward line for the first time in 12 months. And Port Adelaide, well, can they disrupt the Hawks here on their way to September? It's a big game here. UTAS Stadium in Launceston, blustery conditions. And the man who's going to call all the action next, Dwayne Russell.
All right, welcome in, folks. It's Saturday football, and of course, today we've got Hawthorn taking on Port Adelaide. let's head on over. We're about to start in about 2 minutes. Should be a fantastic game. Of course, Hawthorn got everything to play for today. Let's look at the lineups. And, of course, looking at the ins for Hawthorn, Mitch Lewis coming in with Bailey McDonald, Jack Scrimshaw. There your ins. For the Hawks, outs, Moab Chol going out, Giant going out, Cam McKenzie going out. Bailey McDonald is the sub for Hawthorn today. So I think Hawthorn will certainly miss the presence of Moab Chol. And, of course, for Port Adelaide, Dylan Williams, Logan Evans, Jackson Mead coming into the side. Well, you got some big outs here, folks. You got Connor Rose, Jason Horn-Francis, Willie Rioli going out. Wow, there's some big outs for Port Adelaide. Dylan Williams is the sub. And, of course, there are your lineups. We're only a couple of minutes away from the bounce of the ball of the opening term. Just looking at the ladder where these two teams sit. And, of course, for Port Adelaide, they sit down there in 11th position. Well, they're 3 games out of the top 8. It's still mathematically possible. The Port Adelaide Power can sort of still climb into the 8, but it doesn't look feasible. But if they win, they'll go to 36 points. And, of course, just 2 games out of the top 8. And anything is possible with about 5 rounds to go. For Hawthorn, though, they're down there in the 7th spot. And, of course, I'll tell you what, if they lose today, they're a chance at going 7th, being that the Western Bulldogs played last night and lost. The Western Bulldogs certainly won't be wanting Hawthorn to win, or Fremantle or Gold Coast Suns or Geelong to get that 2 games clear. Hawthorn can cement themselves in the top 8, and jump up to 5th spot on the ladder. Actually, they can jump up to 4th spot if they happen to win this game right here, right now. So they got a lot to play for, Hawthorn, today. Tell you what, it should be a cracking match. Down there in Tasmania, the wind's blowing. It should be a little bit swirly. Tell you what, it's going to be cold down there in Tasmania. But there we go. We're going to take you down to the bounce of the ball for the opening term here, whereas Hawthorn taking on Port Adelaide.
Easily will certainly break open the play for Port Adelaide in this first term, and they'll be looking to use him as much as they can.
So both teams with a few players out, but it's about who's in. You can talk about no Connor Rosey or no Jason Horn-Francis for Port Adelaide. Hawthorn fans will talk about no Will Day, no Barbie Chol today. Josh Weddle, also hopefully one of those players that isn't on the injury list too long. The revenge game. Port Adelaide ended Hawthorn's season last year with their win in the semi-final by 3 points. Hawthorn can officially end Port Adelaide's season in this one today. And Meek, who's been in sensational form, just bangs it inside 50. Early inside 50, early touch for Gunston. Out towards Moore. Got a little cider on it. Bends it around. They're going to be hard to kick today in this breeze.
That was big from Lloyd Meek, though. Out of the ruck, grab it out of the ruck and get it going and play. Try and play a forward half game into the breeze.
Hawthorn free kick. There's been all kinds of nasty, all kinds of spice between these two teams in their last few battles, and we've expected it today, and we've already got a push and shove that's going to result in a Hawthorn shot at goal. And it's Cal Shadir to take it from the pocket, maybe, even though it's a tough angle.
Ollie Lord was pleading his case. So it'd be nice to have a left footer. There are not going to be too many scores kicked at this end.
Yeah, it's almost a disadvantage in a way, although he makes them pay. Cal Shadir.
That is a fantastic goal on the left. That could nearly be goal of the round. Now, people might say, it's just a basics left foot snap, but to feel that win with the way that it is out there, that is seriously good. You can see here in the middle of the ground, just Sicily cops a little bump there, really, from Lord, and that's why the umpire paid the free kick. Didn't go all that far. See how the ball dropped? It's got 15 metres, the ball.
It almost stopped and pivoted.
But that's a massive goal. Into this breeze, that is huge for the Hawks to get their first one on the board. I think a few of the Port Adelaide players are seeing the replay and let Sicily know about that one as well.
So Zerk Thatcher's gone to Mitch Lewis, as we saw Alir to Cal Shadir.
Sweet. Meek. And Butters, the other guy. Dumps it long, gets it long. Georgiades in a good spot, plucks it and goals it. The instant reply. And another free
Wow,
kick
here
to
we
Port
go.
Adelaide off the ball. It'll be a double shot at goal. This time it's against Sicily.
It is, Dwayne. It is. He's put Lukosius onto the ground, so they're going to get a second shot at goal here. Russ, his positioning there was quite strange on Georgiades because he was standing 10, 15 metres in front, and the ball was always going to travel over the top.
Butters has kicked that 60 metres on the fly.
So you look there, he pushes forward. Georgiades off the back. That's easy in these conditions. And then in the background, oh, there's the high and throw down. That's why the secondary free kick was given.
And we saw the double goal when these two teams met earlier this year. The Willie Rioli showed the ball taunt double goal where Willie Rioli got a second kick and a second goal.
Well, we know the spite is real.
Absolutely. You don't have to manufacture it today. All kinds of nasty between these two teams in the last couple of times they've played. Lukosius.
Oh, did you get it?
Yes, he squeezed it home. He got it there. Spot fires everywhere.
That was, and that, even stranger then, it was Zach Butters who came up to Sicily and calmed the situation. I thought that was a rarity.
2 goals already in the game from free kicks.
Let's have a look.
Given.
So from inside the square, he's almost travelled that ball to the goal line with a missed kick.
Yeah, he did it at pure, did he? Running out. There's the free kick, as you can see from Sicily. They're putting a little bit of physical pressure on Port Adelaide, but doing that, getting a second goal up, especially after the start that the Hawks had kicking a first goal into the breeze with Calcidir.
Willie Rioli not playing this game, by the way, the man who was part of that double goal early this year. Ward skims it inside 50. Zerk Thatcher, Jones. Willie Rioli dropped, omitted, rested, depends on which adjective you'd like to go with, but he's playing the Sandford this weekend is Willie. Speaking of Port Adelaide, a couple of ex-Port Adelaide players out there. If you got a little touch, Richards pumps it back towards. Well, how's the umpire going to read that? Is that insufficient intent, or was the wind blowing it? The wind was blowing
Really
it.
blew it off his boot when he kicked it away. But interesting, Lloyd Mead grabbing the ball out of centre bounce and just trying to get things going into the breeze.
2 clearances already for Lloyd Mead.
Sweet has to be well and truly aware of that now.
Throw in. Again.
Another one.
Yeah, Meek rips it out of the air, gave it off to Nash. Holds up in that breeze again. Zerk Thatcher. Good crack.
Really good take. Just missed the timing there. Mitchy Lewis coming in behind, but Zerk Thatcher recognised the drop of the ball first. Good play.
Playing against the guy who hasn't played for a year, Mitch Lewis. How about that?
On the chest.
That just came off his shin.
Yep. Nash.
Oh, he's actually hurt his quad from kicking that. He probably felt like he could have a shot. Missed.
It'll be tough to hit targets, and we're seeing that early. We mentioned that pre-game. Darcy Byrne-Jones to a 2-on-2. Good attack from Georgiades. McGuinness jumped on.
Yep, and he's got the roll on Zach Butters. Do you think the limp was because the kick was so bad?
We used to call that loser's limp when you did something wrong.
Butters on his backside, attacked immediately, as you have to. He had 38 possessions in the win over the West Coast Eagles last week, Zach Butters, and earlier this year, round 5 against Hawthorn, had 33 possessions. He's the guy they know they have to stop. And here he goes on cue. Got a handball away, Darcy Byrne-Jones. Richards shrugged the tackle, jumped over a couple. Get it out in Liddy's direction. Moore in front of him. Stripped him on the tackle. Moore flicked it out to Ginnivan. Good drop step by D'Ambrosio. And
Here we go.
Straight in the waiting arms of Farrell. Now, what kind of kicks he got in this breeze?
Well, he definitely get to the goal square if he wants to. So he's going to be kicking from 70, maybe 70 plus.
He just pulls the kick in the end. He stabbed at 50. And through the hands of Georgiades. Almost a shot at goal for Lord. Richards manhandled down.
This is a great recipe for Port Adelaide. They jumped the Hawks in round 5 and got out to a huge lead. They just go aggressive, direct, like Sam Mitchell said. And the breeze, well, dare I say, it's got to be 3 or 4 goals minimum.
Sweet flicks it. Nash goes back. D'Ambrosio, cautious kick. Liddy, Ginnivan. Too strong. To Jack. Inside with the kick. Fortune favoured the Brave there. Hardwick, Ward, and they're out. There's some open space ahead if they can get it in there. Morrison out in front of Battle.
That ain't just
shoot.
That chip kick sideways even went left to right through the air over 15 metres.
Hardwick.
Port Adelaide one-on-one everywhere at the moment too.
Oh, good run.
They're going to go back to Wimpy. Pops into that midfield again and holds up a little with that Breeze Farrell beat. McGinnivan did well. The wobbler. Watson gets his first run out of it. Evans went down, fell back into the team this week. Logan Evans for Port Adelaide with a few out. So Thatcher. Sweet. Jones. Again, launches a 60 and well read by Barras until he put it to grass. Georgiades a toe, boat the flick, missed his target, knocked back to Amon. Spears it does. The man who played 124 game support. And a brilliant pick up for the Hawks. Big hip and shoulder on Watson, puts him down. Barras goes in hard again.
Hawks defenders have made a really quick adjustment, so they're all starting behind now, and now they've had a little sighter, as you can see here. The Wizard just cops one from Butters, but it's a good adjustment because they're sitting behind the play now, so for those big long balls that will go to the top.
Another hit out to advantage there by Lloyd. It's one of those rare days where you're going to actually fight for the rear position in a marking contest.
There's trees blowing in the background here as Newcomb sees it out. Good crowd in. Hawthorn 11 wins, 6 losses. In the hunt, you can see those trees blowing a lot. In the hunt for top 4 spot if they win, they're still Hawthorn. But they drop this game, they're in danger of dropping out, not playing finals altogether. Being the unlucky team, dropping to 9th. Nash, gang tackle. Port Adelaide can still make it. Ken Inkley can still get his team into a grand final, but this could also be his last ever coaching game against Hawthorn for Port Adelaide. Handing over the keys at the end of this season. Morrison run down. McGinnis kept it in. Scrimshaw back in. Caught. Good tackle. Boat. Butters was clever. Holding free. Jackson Reed about to go on with it. He's back into the team for Port Adelaide as well.
So if we look at this, I don't know whether you say it's a goal advantage, but I would think to the right-hand side of screen, you've got to get 10 shots per quarter with this breeze, minimum.
Kelsey Byrne-Jones outside of his boot, rolls it into space. Lukosius gets there but fumbles it. Second grab is good. Richards, who has been a goal kicker, pops it over the top, and nicely grabbed by Will Loren to get to kick himself an AFL goal. So a big moment coming up for him.
The fumble actually worked in Lukosius' favour then, because it just sort of parted the seas a little bit, and he was able to pick up the loose ball with a nice handball release, which had 2 teammates sitting inside forward 50.
Light mist of rain falling now, Dicko.
With the
Game
breeze
5 for Will
these.
Lorenz. With the breeze to go, should be right.
Yeah, you should be right. You just got to not overkick it.
Or overthink it, maybe. Never kicked the goal before, and he gets it there! His first goal in AFL footy. Had a bit of design to it too. It was a beautiful watch.
He got plenty of air on it, that's for sure. He just let it do the work. Let the wind do the work on that occasion. Tico's call was spot on in terms of just don't overkick it. He just put it up high and it just travelled. Nice work inside forward 50 from Port Adelaide.
Just ran on really well then to make it into space. You see him just cut through screen and keeps going. Little fumble work to his advantage. Barras just a little bit far off. Lukosius there on that hit up.
Just to add a little bit of spice down here, boys, the rain has started to fall.
Footy gods are playing their role.
Rough conduct.
Rough conduct.
Knee up without jumping and aimed the knee. That free kick's been talked about. It hasn't been adjudicated upon for quite some time, but it has been talked about.
Kicking into the rain. It's going now sideways at the moment, the rain almost.
Well, this will be lucky to make it inside 50, this kick from there.
Well,
There's the free kick.
Well, it didn't make contact, but obviously the action was something the umpire didn't like. Or fed out to Liddy. Rolls it on the boundary. And it stayed alive. Wapple was claiming the free kick. He could have gone and got the ball. Watson just rolled inside 50 in hope. It is coming down harder now. Ginnivan weaves his way past a couple. And Lear, it's swinging around. Got there from behind. Poncho's going on. Still enjoyable afternoon. Bit being consumed in the outer. Sin about to send it back in. Just 9 possessions last week. Only 213 metres gained against the Eagles. Didn't have his best game. Bumped off it was Jackson. Hardwick. Against the breeze, against the rain. Gunston read it to perfection. That's experience for you.
Great look at
He doesn't think
here.
he can get the rain, so he goes wide to more.
No, he wasn't going to get the distance from there. That kick would have been from 45, and that would have dropped vertical on the goal line. In fact, this is a tough kick for Dylan Moore, because as he watches the ball go away from him, it will swing hard right to left, and if it goes above the level of the stand, it'll turn even further.
See the direction of the rain on your screen. That drifts across the face.
Sort of got a time when the posts are swinging inboard to the side.
You reckon there's a bigger opening than the post?
There is.
That you'd be a very clever footballer if you could time it for the swing out and swing in. I love it. I love it.
That's extraordinary.
Back in, sweep down. Big pack around it and pouncing on it. Little morsel for more.
Well, Drew, you spoke about him pre-game and the fact that he needed a big game and start to really run some form. Here's what he does. He last year and parts of this year, he's a 20 disposal 2-goal player. Like excellent, consistent, gets up some points in contests, a little bit down in patches throughout 2025, but this is exactly what he does best. It's 1, 2, 3 efforts, stay involved, great tap out. Great tap out forward of the play here by the Hawks. Brilliant stuff.
Caught in traffic, Logan. He's just unable to just hang on the end of him.
That's Lewis. Wow, that is brilliant by Lewis.
Umpire continuing to coach and umpire at the same time, barking instructions.
Ollie Wine, second ruck in, Dwayne.
Yeah.
Kelso should be able to jump over him.
Yep, so Stefan Soldo, Dante Vizentini, the other rucks on Port Adelaide's list. They preferred sweep and a pinch hitter. Boat couldn't trap it. Little flick up was good, McDonald.
Oh, clever.
D'Ambrosio. And Gunston got down low but couldn't complete the deal. Burgoyne sort of pulled up, and now Lewis back into the lineup. Behind. Has played some footy, at least. He's had 3 games for Box Hill, kicked 5 goals last week, Mitch Lewis, but this is his first AFL game for 378 days since the ACL round 17 last year.
Had that little play on the Moore goal, but that, getting your first kick will just take a little bit of nerves off him.
Rass puts it down, Georgiades' man. Gathered his crumb to Wines. Hardwick. High tackle from Drew. Moore plays on to advantage nicely. Warple gets and goes. Kicked it a bit too short, kicked it to Farrell, who claims the mark even though it went about 13. Umpire cuts him some slack.
Oh, it's coming down now.
What a bucket load. Back to Farrell. And he just slowly shoes at 70. High.
Giving away a few free kicks now, Port Adelaide.
It's hard to get your leap right in this weather as well, which you're going to see a few unrealistic leaps. According to the umpires, they've been paying that more and more, which might be a reason why we haven't had many high marks this year. Those players prepared to go for it. Richards caught. A precocious. We tapped that towards the line. Didn't get away with it.
I'll tell you how hard the conditions are down here. James Sicily's last kick was a drop punt to start and turned into a check side. And no roof on this stadium.
Well, there's a pointed one from Dicko. Of course, election day today, so there you go. Build it and we will come, the AFL has told them.
They've got to get a move on here, Port Adelaide. With this.
Scrimshaw back in. Good to have him back. Morrison high up. I said it wasn't required. Just a tough one. Lord went and got it, and then they went and got him. Morrison. Lord. Drives it as far as he can. Almost Deer got a hand to it. Almost Gunston got a foot to it. Deer. Moore. Had it. Dropped back into Evans, and he got one high.
And I'm with you, Dino. They just lost possession at the moment, so Hawthorn dominating that side. They've got to get bang for their buck, this breeze and all the conditions.
Well, they're winning the contested possessions, plus 12 already. The Hawks in that facet, which is allowing them to get some good ground position into this breeze.
Yeah, of course, the roof won't just stop the rain. It'll stop the breeze being a factor as well in games as Battle sweeps it wide. Burgoyne knocks it on back to Lord. Little drop step, and he actually ducked into that, so that's ball.
Good umpiring is that the players who are willfully trying to duck into a tackle, you've got to pay holding the ball against them instead of a ball up. They're endangering themselves, so it should be just adjudicated like a duck of the head.
Duck behind. That was well led by the umpires. They've got their work cut out as well today.
Yep. 3 kicks, 5-3, Hawthorn's way. Just gone a little bit excessive here at the moment, Port Adelaide. I'm with you, Dicko. They need to stabilise and get some bang for buck. As I said, I feel like they should get... Oh, look at that throw-in.
And you
it's
can
like
see
a kick.
It was. Is he going to recall it?
Well, it's advantage for
You can recall it, but there's every chance this could happen again.
You can see the direction of the rain on your screen at home.
That's right.
So you have to throw it at Hawthorn's goals to bring it back.
Look at the angle now from the boundary umpire. He's throwing towards the Hawthorn goal. Yeah, and again.
Yeah. Gone 10 metres. Wobble tries to knock on.
He's going to see a lot of it. He's going to fatigue too, this boundary umpire. So you feel for him this afternoon. You feel for everyone in these conditions.
We might have to move this game to the Comedy Channel.
This is crazy stuff. And how much does that ball have to swing from the throw-in for the umpire to recall it? There's no set recall mode for the umpires. They just decide what they want. As they don't free will, that was almost 50. Hardwick claims it should have been.
So Hawthorn are winning those one-on-one battles now, whether it's at ground level or in the air like that with Hardwick.
Keeps it low. Evans got a good fist on it. Travis Pope races toward it. Happy to see it out. He could get to 400 games next season, Travis Spoke, if he plays on, which Port Adelaide are asking him to decide whether he wants to or not. Jumps to equal 7th on the all-time AFL VFL games list next week with game 383, which it'll be.
Holding Port Adelaide.
Free kick hold. Well, advantage is big. He didn't really want to take it.
No, well,
Now he gets a second chance at deciding, I won't take it.
Yeah, no, he shouldn't have got that. He certainly took it, and the umpire made the right call.
And now the ball rolls out of play.
So, Jeremy, you see here the play completely stopped and took it, go. And then if you get tackled, that's on you.
Yeah, it is, because he knew that it could only be a free kick one way.
Yes.
Port Adelaide, so he took that advantage. Got out of
Short
jail.
throwing this time, and
Just throwing it into the wind.
He threw it into the wind, and it only came in about 10 metres. But that one not recalled. I think the umpires would just be content to just go with whatever.
It's interesting watching Georgiades trying to stalk Barras now. He's trying to drag him forward and then run a U-turn and get around behind him.
Again, it dropped short of the rucks. So the other players have to wait for it to bounce before they can go for it. They're not allowed to go for it in the air if they're not the designated ruck.
Yep, spot on, Dwayne. So if they touch it on the full,
or it drops on the back of your head.
Yeah, it's a free kick.
It's a free kick against you for it hitting the back of your head. So Mick wants to get back on, but the ball's on the other side of the ground. The 2-second rucks go at it again. Farrell, the big thump on. Newcomb, aim on. You see that ball hold up McDonald might make it okay. Earlier the other way. McDonald did brilliantly. Kicks into space and throw it in. That's not sufficient intent. It was just a tough kick into the breeze. So they're going to get away with a few of those today.
So just that last play, there's a lack of pressure here from Port Adelaide. Amon was allowed to run a great big U-turn to get back onto his left foot. You can't let that happen. Ken's coached brilliantly against Hawthorn, stopping, not allowing their good kickers to get time with the ball.
Bloke just goes for territory. Georgiades likewise, but he missed the ball. Goes back over to Darcy Byrne-Jones. Hawks have numbers behind it. Moore tracks it. Richards tracks him, and that's exactly what Dylan Moore was after.
This won't worry Hawthorn one bit at all, Derm, in terms of the ball out of play. Yes, it's out of side, not much happening, but they're into the breeze. So this actually is working in their favour.
Mitch Lewis sprints to the boundary while the ball's at the other end, leaving Alir behind the ball, way off to the left-hand side of the screen. Lloyd beats. Meek comes on.
Goes to the boundary again. McDonald, Ward, just shrugged, got a kick. What was the play? Watson's the tallest guy out there, and he waited for the second knockdown, nearly got it, did get it.
That was smart. That's a smart change. They deliberately get Lewis off to get Meek on. Now he's got a ruck advantage, Sam Mitchell, while Jordan Sweet is still waiting on the bench for Port Adelaide. Can't get a rotation.
This won't hit the logo.
No, it's almost come back. He almost could have marked his own kick. Butters read it well, and he drives it. Gets it 70. It sails. Lord got up there. It sailed over his head. Derm, almost the oldest amongst us. This is old school. This is Moorabbin. Kick to the dead pocket, kick to the dead wing. Suburban style VFL game.
So when modern day players don't play in this much, we saw a huge pack then. You're literally obligated to just say one forward goes and make sure you hit it and knock it on and get somebody out the back. We're going to see some walk-in running goals.
Richards, so he needs a bounce. He got the kick, but only a behind. It is old school, and that's exactly what was the situation in the VFL days of suburban grounds. You kick it against the breeze, you kick it to the dead pocket, waste as much time as possible.
So he'll have to play on, crib as much ground as he can. Oh, take the ground, James. Just don't amble.
So dead pocket he goes. Butters flies.
Bang.
Hawthorn might try and keep it to the congested side as much as possible to move this last 5 minutes down. Liddy gets it high. Battle goes up. Barras goes up with a big fist. Bloke couldn't grab it. It's a slippery ball. Liddy, was he caught high? Umpire said no. Must have played for it. Warple.
He's had a good quarter, James Warple.
To gain some ground. It is so old school. It's almost a fun, different game to watch. Alir went to ground. Sweet went and got it. 3 Hawks. 4 Hawks tackled him.
Yeah, that's probably a free kick there.
Wines. His pocket picked. Burgoyne. Put the grasp on McGuinness. And then almost a free kick. There's a free kick to Morrison.
Yeah, it's a nice little matchup they got there. So McGuinness going with Butters at the moment, so starting to annoy him a little bit.
Yeah, Butters has had 5 to start this game.
At this ground, the pack is forming 35 metres ahead of the kicker.
That got over the top.
Justin was superb there.
Yeah, he used all his experience to take that mark in front of his direct opponent. Good centre up here.
The battle.
3 kicks from goal.
They are.
Amon. Having an all-Australian season. A brilliant pass to the pocket. Deers under it. Gunston, a hold. So he couldn't get back onto it, and it's going to be Deer's ball. That's the problem. It drops in the air. Players panic. Over to you, Kausha, for the lead.
So this is a tough kick. He's got to calculate how hard or how soon the breeze will pick this ball up and drag it from his right to left. Calculate that against how far out he is, which is not very.
3 straight from 9 possessions against Fremantle last week. And he's the star of the show so far today.
It's 2 excellent finishes in this first quarter from Kalshadier. And that was a nice build-up. by the Hawks. Started by the Gunston mark, just outside 50, centred it up. They controlled the ball. This is the next one. In both holding each other there, but he gets the free kick in front. That's where the umpire was able to see that.
Did he claw on? Did he just...
Or did he just have his hand there on?
Did we see Amirali's mitt just claw on the forearm?
I think there was a grab on the jumper, and I think once that happened, that's what the umpire was able to see. So he wins that free kick. But playing in front into the breeze, and
I reckon Powell was stiff then. I'm kind of looking at that, maybe letting that go. We're in the middle.
Watson's been sent into the middle as well. Drew couldn't get the squeeze kick away, and they get the clearance. Warple, a little roller. Jones lying in front. Mungles it wide. Impey. Marcy Burns-Jones comes out in trouble now. Hardwick got a couple against him. DBJ, little toe on that.
See that? Blake Hardwick turned around to Darcy Burns-Jones and apologised for tripping him. He said, sorry, mate. Just a little hand gesture. I'm sorry, accidental.
You wouldn't have done that, Dan? Stupid question.
You really need to ask.
Never ask a question you don't already know the answer to. Ball back into play. Meek from behind knocks it down. Back in, tries to reach for it. Sweet. Plucks it, tries to back out of a jam.
So that's Warple. He's had a good quarter so far. He's had the 7 possessions, but he's strong enough to hang on to a big man like Sweet trying to get away with the ball. Just Bullock. That'll go over.
Kept it in. I said it was still in.
That's off a butt.
It was off. Another player, so touched out of play.
Kicked it into the backside. So let's see if this...
Well, a throw also. Yeah, no. It's a slippery ball. Maybe it was a fumble.
Inside 50 fumble.
Short throw it again. The ruck got there. Almost a drop kick from Sweet. Bangs it to the wing. Scooped up. Watson. Moore. Opens it up. Lewis. Back out in the Moore direction. Zerk Thatcher. Hassled him out of it. About to get caught. Just in time to sin. Hawthorn at the wall set up. Empty.
They're defending very well now, Hawthorn.
Well, they know this ground. They've played here many times. They played here against, I think it was the Bulldogs earlier this season in a game that was heavily favoured by a breeze to one end. Got a fantastic record here, the Hawks. Ginnivan down the line. Lewis.
Did well. Held his body in the contest really well then, Mitch Lewis.
Latest tackle on Abel.
he's just such a big guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
So you can see there the time out of the game. Bit more size on for Lewis.
This Hawthorn's final game here in Launceston this season.
Oh, that was the Connor Nash slap round arm that got him in trouble earlier.
3-on-3 ahead of the ball. Impey. Clever trap, and now he's off. Scrimshaw, fantastic to have him back. Aim on wide. Morrison. Just puts a step on boat, got away from him easily and found Impey.
Yeah, but that's a couple of times that you mentioned that how Hawthorn have been able to get in front of the Port Adelaide opponents and run away from them out of defence rather than that big chase down, tackle into the breeze, get a turnover with it and punch the ball back inside forward 50.
Oakey picked 5 back in 2006 draft. Todd Goldstein, the only other player from that draft, still taking the field in 2025 as Adel sends it towards
one over the ear.
Almost Meek free kick. Jones.
He's giving that to me.
Almost 80. Scrimshaw backs back, sport his own man. Georgiades ran into Scrimshaw, who holds him up and gives him a little bit of mayo on top. And a little bit of extra sauce. He's okay.
oh, that's all good.
So not everyone's out there being friendly. Everyone's apologising for trips as Nash takes it out. Just a quick correction. There is one more player from that 2006 draft who's still taking the field outside of Travis Boak and Todd Goldstein. Cheerio to David Rod.
Oh, yeah. Well,
the D-Rod. He was pick 86.
Yeah, he forged out a good career, didn't he?
Meek. As the rucks were ready for a short throw-in. Morrison around his body. Seconds tick down to quarter time. Alir gets it, hammers it and hope. Boak.
Settle, he's not without a chance here. That
What's his odd leg got though, Derm?
might be a bit wet and heavy, the ball, but
It's going. It's going. It's going. Lukosius kept it alive almost.
That was close.
Almost.
I'm with you there.
Not going to check it, but that. We might check it.
Yeah, that was very close.
So just need to mop these seconds up now, Hawthorn, and be content to go in. Having kicked against the breeze with scores level.
They'll be wrapped with this, Dwayne. This is huge from the Hawks.
Moore pumps it down the line. Seconds tick. Oh, bang! Lewis went hard and zerked Thatcher. Didn't get him high, and the siren sounds as Impey takes a ripper. Judged it well. Here it is. Oh, good call. Absolutely sailed through with ease. It's bizarre. It's old school, but it's fun. It's great to have your company wherever you're watching. 3-2 plays 3-2 quarter time in Launceston.
All right, there we go. It's quarter time here down in Tasmania. And, of course, 3-2 apiece, Hawthorn, Port Adelaide. Tell you what, that first quarter, the wind got up. It was vertical. The rain there when it started to come down, it was probably started off with about a 4-goal breeze advantage there to Port Adelaide. And they just couldn't take advantage of it. Tell you what, the Hawks, they did fantastic in that opening term, Addy G. GQ and Shouty. Albert, how you doing? Welcome in. Good to see you. ATS also. Mason was in there. AFL Talks was in there. Addy G. Did that wind, it just looked like the wind dropped off slightly after the rain stopped to come through. Tell you what, she's a slippery ball. This is tough conditions, of course. Tasmania's always tough conditions down there. It's cold, wet, and windy. If this is what I was saying in the chat there, Albert, because at that stage the wind was just blowing a gale. You know, the umpires were having trouble chucking it in. They'd kick the ball and I tell you, they'd kick the ball and it'd probably go 30, if that. Yet they kick it with the breeze and it could go 70 or 80. In that big breeze. So Port Adelaide really didn't do the job in that opening term. Hawthorn certainly held Port Adelaide fantastic. And they were really good into the breeze. Of course, Port Adelaide probably lucky to be level pegging at this stage. Of course, Hawthorn got out the gates quick with a fast goal. Port Adelaide replied and then got a free kick as Sicily chucked one of the Port Adelaide players to the ground and got a second free kick, which resulted 2 goals from there. But then Hawthorn got the next 2 going into the breeze, which was absolutely fantastic. Just a quick look at the live ladder. Nothing much has changed except Hawthorn will take a draw if this is how it ends up. I'm not sure whether this game's going to be a draw, but there we go. Port Adelaide, I tell you what, they should have done a little bit more in that quarter. Port Adelaide should have been, let's face it, Port Adelaide should have been 3 to 4 goals up in that opening term, especially with the breeze going right of screen. I tell you what, it was a fair breeze. If anyone's actually watching the game, I'll tell you what, they'd say the same thing. But I tell you what, at the moment, Hawthorn seemed to be doing everything pretty right there. It was good defensive work, good attack work as well. It's just that they were going into a super strong breeze in that opening term. We'll see in the second quarter if the breeze still continues to be that strong or did it just die off a little bit after that rain. But look, it certainly could pick up, but there's still that wind advantage and Hawthorn will be kicking with that advantage in the second term. Tell you what, it's going to be a ring-a-ding-ding. I tell you what, this is like the old school football where you play in the wet conditions. The only thing is the ground's in good condition. It's not a boggy ground like they used to play back at Moorabbin or some of the local grounds, etc. like that. Let's just, we had a look at the lineups. Let's just have a quick look at the team stats and the goal scorers. Well, there we go. Looking at the goal scorers, Cash Ladir for the Hawks, the only multiple out there. Fantastic kicking into that breeze. It just moves the ball off the boot so much. He's got 2 out there for the Hawks. Dylan Moore is the other one with a single, and of course for Port Adelaide. Jack Lucas has 1. Lorenz has 1. and Mitch Georgiades has the other one. Let's just have a look at the disposal magnets out on the ground. Dylan Moore doing a job out there. 4 possessions clear of his nearest rival on 11. He's had 7 kicks, 4 handballs. He's had a mark, a tackle, a clearance, and a goal. So he's pretty much had the perfect quarter he could start with out there, Dylan Moore. James Warple on 7. A few others on 7. Harry Morrison, Impey also. Ollie Wines, the best for Port Adelaide, on 7 with 2 kicks, 5 handballs, 3 clearances there. Jack Ginnivan started off the game all right in the first 10 minutes, quietened off in the latter part of that opening term, but I'm sure he'll get back into it. He'll like these conditions. Nick Watson got hammered in a couple, just the 2 kicks, 3 handballs for Nicky Watson there. Butters, just on the 5 for Port Adelaide, they need to, I would expect a player like his calibre would do really well in this type of conditions. Miss Georgiades, as I said, just the 4 touches, 2 kicks, 2 handballs, 1 goal. They should have looking for a little bit more out of him in the opening term, but did get the quick reply after Hawthorn's opening goal. Jack Gunston, look, I think Jack Gunston will be pretty dangerous in this second term. I think he'll be pretty dangerous in the whole term. Skillful player there for Hawthorn, just the 3 touches, 2 kicks, but handed off to Deere, who slotted the goal, which was just fantastic. There we go. As we see, a lot of the players from Port Adelaide in the lower half of the stats. I'm sure that'll pick up a little bit as the game goes on. All right, we are going to head back down to the ground for the second quarter. The scores are all level. Hawthorn kicking with the breeze.
I love Jono's thought that you have to wait for the goalpost to wobble out
I'm
before you have your shot.
watching this one too. Ollie Lord and Sicily having a bit to say to each other.
Well, it's fun to have a game played like there's everything on it. And for Port Adelaide, it is everything on it. They lose this, their season is officially over, and Ken Ickley's chances of coaching a flag with Port Adelaide are done. He's out at the end of the season, handing over the keys to Josh Carr. They win this, they can still make finals, Port Adelaide. Footy gods could even have a Hawthorn Port Adelaide elimination final at the G in store for us if they were to get there, Port. But they lose this, and it's done. Ken Hinkley won't be coaching Port to a flag. In his long time at the club, this is his 13th and final season as coach. They've never finished worth that 11th under Ken in 12 seasons so far. He's been a star as a coach, but just not a premiership coach.
He's made a move already, which in his back line, talk about it if this rolls out, which it does. Yeah, Lockie Jones has moved over under Jack Gunston now. Now, Gunston will fancy himself here because of his experience and knowing where the ball's dropping first. He'll spot that earlier. Lockie Jones is going to just have to hassle, harass, body on body, and Bergman's dropping back as the extra.
Warple had it, cleverly didn't quite pick it up. And ricochets along the boundary and no free given. It'll be a ball in. Pat on the head for Xiaomi Mi. See how this one gets thrown in. It's still raining, still difficult conditions here. See the rain blowing to the right of your screen. Thrown in brilliantly there. Butters tracks it, kept it in front. He's a star. Hammers it as far as he can. Lord was a clever flick on. Barris taken down by Hugh Jackson.
Sicily and Butters, they're the captains today, both from the Western Jets, actually, so that's a good honour for the Western Jets this afternoon.
Warple. Players that got away from the Dogs, Jono, are they? Is that what you're telling us?
Not at all.
Jones pokes it back up. Georgiades got there from 3 deep. Good attack again from Butters and McInnes on him like a cheap suit again. Side by side, McInnes, Butters. Sweet, just ripped it out of the air. Heads toward Lukosius. Takes the mark and can line up and give Port Adelaide the lead back.
Good fight back by Jordan Sweet there. Big Lloyd Meek had the honours in the first quarters and he was able to take it out of the air and swing around and just dump it forward. Just got a little lost there, Blake Hardwick.
Only 7 possessions and 2 behinds last week against the West Coast Eagles. You have one of those kind of Jack Lukosius games where he can't quite find his best, and the difference between his best and his worst is pretty much North and South Pole. He could be the man today. He slipped that through, and they lead again.
Well, Tim, I didn't expect most goals in this game to be left of screen so far. And with this one with Lukosius, just look, he's the one. Jordan Sweet did a great job here turning the tables on Lloyd Meek to take it out of the ruck, but he's the one who gets the chance to come towards the football. You look at what Hardwick does coming back, trying to intercept. Ball drops on him. Lukosius, with his speed coming through the ball, takes an easy mark inside forward 50.
Yeah, Josh Battle he actually tried to look after Blake Hardwick, and he was going to cannon into him. He stopped his run, which allowed Lukosius a free run at the drop of the ball, which he took full advantage of.
So the sweet Mick battle continues. Slap forward in the Ward direction, knocked it to Farrell. A little too slick with the handball, but it might work. Bergman got it towards half forward, rolling ball. Lukosius got there second. Scrimshaw got there first and left it behind. Drew flicks it out, winds, went down low, jumps in, feeds it back out again. Hort fighting hard. Bergman hammers it, getting down low. Georgiades couldn't quite pluck it. Aim on. Morrison caught, stripped, dropped it. Umpire obviously thought he didn't have prior, even though he did initially look to fend a little.
Having a good 3 minutes here, Port Adelaide. This is really good. Kenny must have got at them at the quarter-time break because their intensity is up now.
Yeah. You want to hold the ball there,
Yeah.
Ken?
It's how long is a piece of string? Most umpires have a kind of different length of time for prior opportunity. He didn't have a lot there. Ward against the grain. Hardwick, dangerous spot to hit, but they're kicking with the breeze, so maybe down the spine's the plan. Left behind by Lewis. Lukosius goes back. Ugly bounce. Raymond, they're coming at him.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It just sits up. That first bounce sits up into the breeze. And
horrible feeling.
It is. Bit of a sitting duck.
I reckon Miss Georgiades looks after him a bit.
No, he does, yeah.
You say that with disappointment? You voiced them, I can hear it. Drew out wide. Lorenz. Just his target, Hardwick. So he goes down the spine. Not sure that's where he meant to go, between the legs of Alir, but it went there. Gets it back from Burgoyne. Pops it.
That's a good kick.
Winds.
Pulled it well.
Ooh. And not 50.
Could have been.
Well, if anyone came from there, it's Farrell. Lukosius at the back. Early leap from Georgiades. And stumped through.
Move out. Let's go. Go out. Wait. Jack, let's go. Move out.
Well, James gives this a bit of a play on. No, he's just going to retain possession.
So you found a talk down the middle?
Oh, look, I reckon under these conditions, just put the pressure on the opposition. Get it into your half, or get it into your forward 50 with 2 long kicks.
So there it is. Talk down the middle. Bring back the barrel. Warple all the way inside 50 with that kick. Alir caught. So they gain a lot of territory and now ball up.
Yeah, so the pressure now is on Port Adelaide to defend. And with Hawthorn's fleet of foot, small brigade who are good at ground level, it'll be full pressure on.
And the square is 50 metres, so you can see how long that kick was. D'Ambrosio now. He's a good kick of the ball. Is he a long enough kick of the ball?
Maybe not with the moisture in the air now, rain in the air. Just as we've talked about tonight, it takes a little bit of distance off the water.
He puts it up for the leapers to go at it. Lewis got there. Good mark at Farrell. Floats it wide. Umpire might cut him some slack. It bounces on the line of statement anyway. D'Ambrosio cautiously bumped. Warple, he goes. Will he go with the top again?
Oh, good pass.
Punt. Yes. MP, the sidestep was great. Opens it up well and truly within range and then blows the kick wide. So Dermot, your raindrops on the ball theory for those who haven't been with us before.
Well, if the ball travels 60 metres through the air and the rain's heavy, it hits a lot of water accumulated drops of water, which takes distance off the kick. Look, Jono doesn't believe me.
I learn something new every time I work with you, Gerd.
It's scientifically proven.
Farrell goes wide, very wide, and almost markable. Mead put it down, though.
It's not just the ball
Most
wet and
around
heavier, is that?
As
Does that
well.
play a part?
As well.
Well, Dermot's theory is that every drop of rain is like a
It's like a little
hammer.
hammer. Yeah, right. They only weigh about 1 gram each, but it gets hit 500 times on the way through. It takes a bit off
Fair
it.
call.
I might be understating it with 500. If it's going through the air for 55 metres, it gets hit by more drops of rain than that. But I love the theory. From the ball in, Farrell caught.
How do I get that 30 seconds back?
McInnes squeezed it.
That's the extra. So, yeah, Bergman starting in the centre bounce, pushes straight back. The forwards then push up to the midfield. And Bergman lends assistance like that.
Harris doesn't take the mark. I noticed that Dicko never sits next to you on the planes down here, Derm. I get seated next to you, so we have these discussions quite a lot.
Yeah. People think we're maniacal to sit next to us. They think we're just lunatics.
Sam Mitchell on the phone. 4th season as coach for Sam. Really opens up for Hawthorn. If they can win this game and be back in the running for a top 4 spot, they lose this, and they're no guarantee to play finals. Darcy Byrne-Jones, that was out on the full anyway. I didn't have to make a call on it. Hawthorn began last season with 5 losses in a row. They made the finals, but the fairy tale run ended at the hands of Port Adelaide and Ken Hinkley. They can do likewise and finish Port's season with a win in this. Impey, export star, danced, passed, and goes long. Couple of options. Little slip fails. It skimmed a fist. And it hit the post.
I keep calling it get out the back. You can only make the ball come forward of the drop if you completely middle the ball with a fist. Everything is going to skim out the back of the contest.
And the Hawks have set up a bit of a wall also here, so they're not going to get it out in transition very fast at all, Port Adelaide.
That's a good just to Butters, who dropped it as he was caught. Battle pops it. Dirk Thatcher under it. Hit well Watson. Got it down to Lewis. Caught, slung, dropped it. All out of play.
Kind decision to Mitchell. Probably should have been holding the ball.
Al Shadir having a rest. Newcomb, Amon, Harry Morrison on the bench at the moment for the Hawks. Lewis doing the right work against Sweet. It's his own ball. Gives it up to D'Ambrosio. Kicks through traffic. Lewis can't handle it. Burgoyne. Four hands on the way through. All in.
It's the kind of day you expect the Wizard to actually bob up and kick a 3 or 4, and there's that kind of Wizard. Different Wizard.
Sweet and Meek. It is a slippery ball out there. It's Caker's side. Hugh Jackson can't do something with it. Has to give it to the umpire.
And the longer it stays without a goal, the more slippery it becomes.
If they get a new ball out of the bucket. Behind the goals when the goal's kicked.
Yep.
To half forward. Hartwig. Lord had the reach. Got away from him. He played for the free end, got it.
He's been damaging coming off the half-back line in this second quarter. He's taken the ball forward with purpose twice, missed a goal in one of them.
75 games for Port. Drafted by Port, pick 21 back in 2013.
He was high-ish, wasn't he?
Yeah, pick 21. They traded him for 2 late picks that Port would love to have him back. Didn't amount to that much. Long kick, half forward. Bergman, hands on it. Here is the Wizard. He ran into Aliir.
He was lucky he was there. Aliir, that was perfectly crumbed.
Jordan, Luke, I'm out this way.
Sort of negates Aliir's game. He's number 7 in the AFL for intercept marks this year. It's a harder thing to do in this weather. Impey goes hard. Georgiades the other way. Lord. Byrne-Jones. Bounced poorly for Sicily. It's been bouncing poorly for him all year, really. Hasn't quite been his season. To half forward. Beck can't mark it. Hits the deck. Burgoyne away. Huge ball to win in the middle. This is the kick though. Out wide to some space and Moore got there. Play on. A bullet to Gunston, and if anyone can kick it from here, it'll be easy for Jack. He's been in sensational form.
He'll just throw this
Once again, the timing was perfect by Gunston. When he recognised the ball coming off the opposite diagonal point of the back of the square, he recognises the player who's receiving and the open space, holds his time.
39-22 this year. Make that 40-22.
It's a great call. I think it was Battles released to Dylan Moore, who went from one side of the ground to the other. It was great touch.
Because Port had
Battle over the top. But what Dylan Moore does well here, he turns, sees and hits. He doesn't go back off his mark. If he does, then Gunston Lee becomes invalid. It does not work for the Hawks on that occasion. So well done by Dylan Moore to identify that. Nice chip inside forward 50 and a beautiful finish by Jack Gunston.
So he recognised the ball going from right to left there. Runs a little chicane there to take Alir to one back step, and that just buys him enough room.
Hit the apex perfectly.
A little shake and bake. Because Alir is always looking for that opportunity to get back to the goal square, and that's Wayne Call. Intercept mark.
2 second marks, and Deere has the reach. Down to Watson. Ginnivan Watson. Flick on might still work. Newcomb, bang, Jones. Stopped in his tracks, and that's high. Nick Watson 3.
It is. It was there. He did raise his arm, though, Watson, which can put the umpire in doubt as to whether it is a high.
He made sure it was there, but you're allowed to go for the ball on the ground.
No, I'm not questioning it the high. I'm just saying it just puts the umpire in doubt when you do throw your arm up after you are tackled. He did well to come back at it here. A couple of good touches.
But you got to give him his due. He came out of the centre circle.
Yeah, it was a big win. This is his third touch in this passage of play.
Kicked 1 goal, 1 from just 8 possessions last week against Fremantle. Nick Watson. It bends a little, but that's a beautiful kick. Through the middle, and the Hawks are getting hotter.
See if he goes back into the middle of the ground here. Turns back into centre bounce. Looks like he's heading back that way. That was pretty sharp.
I reckon Willem Durrell will tighten up on him a bit now. The hit Pokey might take a new take in. He's just a little quick.
He was looking for the third one back there as well. It just got touched by Port Adelaide. Did well. Good pick up in these conditions. There's the high.
Yeah, put Bokey in his weight there. I think the 3 players I said are still out there in that 2006 draft. Bokey, Todd Goldstein and David Wright. I reckon David's still the quickest.
Oh, he might go again here.
Drew, nearly. Evans. Boat gets it here, but they get him more. The number 1 possession winner on the ground at the moment, Dylan Moore. Add another kick to the tally. Gets it a half forward. They can smell some blood here, Hawthorn. Keep it rolling. Deere, Bergman, Moore again. Turned into a tackle, but got a handball away. McInnes shoots it out. Wines decides to go for territory. Sicily. Caught. Tough ball to win. Rain bucketing down. Tackle low by Lukosius.
You'd think that the Wizard would love these conditions. Conversely, you'd think Ollie Wines would love these conditions as well.
Neither ruck could get near that. Tossed in the air and eluded them both. Burgoyne. Hunted down by Moore. Still fighting the fight. He does look like he loves the conditions. Ward with a flick on, missed his target.
You know what I'm loving by Sam Mitchell's coaching here is he lets Kalshadir into the middle to jump for the first bounce, but thereafter he's released Battle, who's coming up to be the ruck and push around with Ollie Wines.
Battle knocks it down. So those fans, they need a medal. Sticking around in these wintry conditions. You want to know what love is? That's love. Hawthorn fans making the trip here. And plenty have. Out wide into some space. Clean bowls, Battle. Still alive for him. He kept his feet. Towed it off the deck. Lewis, clean-handed. Moore, another possession. And Bokey Gets back, stops the rot.
Experience. He knew he couldn't run with his little opponent, so he ran into the back line as an extra. Well done, Travis.
Had 100% of game time again last week against the West Coast Eagles. Like many key backs, allows the mids to have an extra rest. Sails over them in Sicily.
Just got that wall set up, Hawthorn across there. So every time Port Adelaide just goes through the middle of the ground, they've got spare
A
players
lot of space
everywhere.
down the line here. If Mitch Lewis is holding his hand up, draw it out towards the boundary.
Hardwick thumps it. Lewis got there to compete. Nash flicks it on. McDonald, aim on. Had some time to go back and pick it up. And the Wizard couldn't quite get there. He was running too quick for his shoes.
What's that little, we're in Tassie, that little cartoon character, the Tassie Devil,
Yes.
whose wheels used to spin.
That's it. Little dog on lino.
He knew he had it.
Get any traction. Sin. Lake pressure line.
Well done by Mitch Lewis again. He's keen, isn't he? Wants to be involved. Extra numbers back. Bergman draws away from the contest again, goes 15 metres out from the goal square.
Sweet got it up. Mead back into the lineup. Hammers a kick away. Moore, another possession. Hits a good spot with the kick as well. Lear. There's one of those intercept marks. Number 7 in the AFL this year again. Just outleads them. Barris likewise, but he couldn't mark it. Battle tried to kick it off the deck. Meek. Sweet, two big boys. A little bit of poetry and slow motion from those two. It's in there somewhere. (34-27). Never really know until, as they say in cricket terms, both teams have batted on it. Both teams have now almost had a full quarter with the breeze. See what it's worth, what they're doing with it. Meek gets away, hands it up. Burgoyne caught, winds up against the boundary. And getting back, Scrimshaw takes off. So this is their mode. They want to go. Sicily knows it. Looks around. Handball target. He waited for Hardwick, who can blast it if he wants. He goes precisely to Lewis. Put it down. Liddy. Matty, Liddy, what are you doing? Game 5. Can you do that in the Sanford?
Yeah, you just got to hang on to that, and your momentum will slide you over with it. And
Yes.
the umpire will give
Pick
you
it up.
that grace.
Yeah.
Morrison hits a pretty good spot. He's going to go for it. Went straight past a few of them. Sweet.
Reverse torque.
Scrimshaw. And that'll be a ball in. That might be insufficient intent.
Let's have a look at this. So, good spoil, good lead, good spoil.
Just pick it up.
Yeah, just pick it up and slide with it. Well, just secure the ball. This is where, is the Wizard still on?
Yep.
Get amongst it, son. Get amongst it.
They're ducking and weaving. Umpire doesn't like it normally when you go off the deck.
That's stiff.
It is, but he has the opportunity to go with his hands.
Yeah, everybody's trying to hack it out of there. Ken doesn't like
Is
it.
that enough, Ken? All right, Ken, there might only be 5 games left after today.
He's gone for some teeth.
I don't think he'll be smiling at the camera while this is transpiring. If anyone can, Jack Gunston. That is miraculous! As good as it gets from Jack.
What a finish from Jack Gunston. He's kicked a couple of beauties in this corner.
Not happy, Ken. Let's have a look at this.
Here it is
I
here.
reckon you're in time to have a crack at it. Everybody's trying to hack the ball out of the air. There's every chance he can kick that out in the full. That's just an error. I'm letting that run, and I'm throwing that in.
Having said that, goal, that's a ripper.
Yeah, it is. It's a great goal, isn't it? Dylan Moore was there first, and Jack Gunston said, "No, I'll take this one, young fella. Give it to me."
Having said that, if I'm the coach, I would say to my player, I want you to take that in your hands. regardless of what everybody else is doing around you.
So maybe Kim was disappointed with that. Not going.
Could have been. Yeah, could have been. Yeah, one or the other, definitely. Oh, that's a while in the tackle.
The whistle away there. The umpires, 3 players that have had a piece of it, tackled, dropped it. Dicko.
Going to get another ball up here in the middle of the ground. This is a big 5 minutes for Port Adelaide.
Did well, Sweet again.
Put the aim on though.
They have to try and get some territory here, Wayne.
Stripped as he held on. Got caught.
Yeah, right hand to have it.
Watson held him too long.
Just hit the other wing. Don't bring it out this side. It's 1.5 kicks back to goal from this wing.
Great kick. Great kick. Oh, I couldn't get there, Liddy.
We'll get some advice from the man over the fence, does Manny Liddy. Just game 5 for him, wearing the leg sleeve because he had the injury in the sandful where he got a sprig rip his skin and got sepsis. So has to protect the delicate skin of his leg from that scar.
5 minutes here for Port Adelaide. Just got to hang in there. Can't afford any more damage.
Nash socketed it, but difference is he kept it in. Burgoyne to Evans. The coach has got there late, maybe got a bit of ear on the way through.
I reckon he's another player who doesn't mind playing in the wet Josh battle. Loves it a bit willing, good size, good strength.
I like the fact that just not blazing here, Hawthorn. They're picking their targets. They go around the world in these conditions, and then when they get centre forward, it goes deep.
Amon, 30 possessions, the most for Hawthorn that lost last week. He's in fantastic form, Carl Amon. He sets this up. Scrimshaw's nudged on the kick.
That's a bit of chase, though. That was meat on that occasion because it kept Scrimshaw on his right, left footer, and that's the outcome. Out of bounds on the full, you win the ball back.
Well, the same on Amon on the back flank then. They stopped him getting perfectly back onto his left foot to access the middle of the field. Gee, that's a good strike.
Farrell, 50 on it. Darcy Ben Jones at the back. And they steal one here. It's a 1-on-2. Lukosius, here's the one. Outside of the boot. Travis Boak leads the race. They come at him. Impey, Boak dropped it. Impey's got him. Dragged it in. Lukosius comes to lend a hand. Umpire says, I'll have it.
That was a clever kick by Lukosius, wasn't it?
He got the perfect bounce too. Both just couldn't take it clean with how slippery the ball is.
Newcomb, Hardwick, stripped. Warple fights hard. They come at him. And a few of these players will probably change their strip at half-time, as some players do in the modern game.
Change your boots. Less weight on your feet.
Change your socks, change your shorts, change your jumper. Well, they're not the old woolen jumpers, aren't they, once soaked up like sponges. Liddy can't mark it. Newcomb crumbs it, gets it and goes, and then he was manhandled, didn't really have possession. Sin back inside 50. Bokey put it down though, did the hard work. D'Ambrosio put it down. Hardwick hunted and hammers it. Alir sails over his head. Lewis still a little rusty maybe. Accidentally toes it. And he's hurt himself on the way through there, Jones, as well, by knocking that out.
He deliberately knocked that one over, but it was well disguised. The umpire probably thought he was a little bit far away from the boundary line. He played that well, Lockie Jones. Outnumbered at ground level then.
Drew's done a great job on Newcomb in this first half. Only the 4 touches for Jai Newcomb.
Sweet took it out of the air to Butters, rare fumble. Lorenz had it knocked away. Toe by Farrell. Drew goes hard.
Well
gets
done,
himself a touch. Winds to Boak. Open forward line for Port, Barris and Sicily. Sicily was the only man who was a chance to score that away.
Oh, they're quick.
Ginnivan. Aim on. He goes off the deck, keeps it central. Zerk Thatcher. Evans gets it out of the area. Impey in a good spot. Would compete. Knocked it down. Little toe poke by Jackson. Likewise Georgiades, but they've got the numbers. Ward bounced off like a rubber ball. takes off on Wines. Wide ball, Deer. Turned outside. Aaliyah knew where he was going.
They're looking for a lift through the middle of the ground, but Butters only had the 2 disposals this quarter. Did spend 7 minutes on the interchange, so Finn McGuinness doing a great job.
He continues to bucket down.
Georgiades just berating himself over letting Ward get through that tackle.
Watson through that traffic. Sweet out. Wines. Just came back toward him.
What do you think of that, Dwayne? Not that it happened on this occasion. A player goes to ground near the ball. The tackling player over the top drags the ball in. Does he have culpability?
Well, they play it holding the ball most times, do.
Yeah, they do. But if the umpire sees the tackler drag it in...
It'd be nice to know what Greg Swan thinks.
Yep.
We might get a few of those little interpretations changed because it is the tackler who drags it in. Sicily gets back there. He might play his way back into some form.
Just thinking the same thing, the way they were able to play the extra behind. He'll get it back here.
Second year as captain, things haven't quite gone to plan for him, but still a lot of season left in this. Georgiades to Drew. Butters, if anyone can get put back into it, it's Butters. Lukosius, he wobbles it. Battle gets back, Meads with him. Little tap down, made a Scrimshaw's problem. Jackson gets there. Brilliant tackle.
Well done, and well picked up as well. It had to be clean, and absorbs the nice tackle from Scrimshaw.
Meek. Sweet. Wraps him up, or close to the boundary. It's going to be up there in the discussion for All-Australian Lloyd Meek. I know that Max Gawn and Brodie Grundy and maybe even Tristan Cherry and Darcy Cameron are in the running as well.
It depends what you want, whether you want an All-Australian ruckman or an All-Australian follower.
Little editorial from you, Derm. I like it. Impey. Tough ball to mark and Bergman.
Well judged.
Seconds remaining. Good port, still a late one. He hits the pocket. I'm sure everyone was aware it was coming there. Warple feeds it out wide. Little swipe on from Morrison. It's coming back though. It's markable, and Lukosius is remarkable. He just pops up every now and then, Jack Lukosius, to do the freakiest thing, and a goal on siren here. Exactly what Port Adelaide need.
Well, it's going to take his very best kick.
Well, this is what you're ready for.
And he's already kicked 2 in this game. Right place, right time there.
This is what you get him for. To kick the goals like this, which 1 out of every 50 players can make.
Just keep it low under that stand and he won't move as much.
Heavy investment in a speculative stock. Jack Lukosius, Port Adelaide signed him up. And a siren sounds. He couldn't score. See if they separate themselves here without any more spice thrown in. Half-time. UTAS Stadium in Launceston. Fantastic to have your company. The Hawks have hit the last 3 goals of this game to lead 40-27 at half-time.
All right, there we go. It is half-time. We'll be back with the commentators for a bit of a analysis on the opening half. I tell you what, it's a hard-fought game, this one, down here at UTAS Stadium in Launceston, Tasmania. The rain is still coming. The wind is still there. I think it's still like a 3-goal breeze. The end Hawthorn were kicking in. And, of course, the ball will probably live down the forward half of Hawthorn for about 70%, 75% of that second term. Port Adelaide, again, held up well. Of course, the team going into the breeze is holding up reasonably well. Port Adelaide putting on 1 goal, 1 in that second term. Hawthorn, 3 goals, 2. That's exactly what they kick with the breeze. So that's how it's telling you, folks. It's a hard, tough, scrappy game. Tell you what, I know the players need a medal to be playing in this type of weather, but the fans out there, the fans are copping a battering from the wind out there and the weather. They certainly need a medal or a free hot dog or a free meat pie out at the footy for braving the elements out there today. in Tasmania. Their beautiful weather, what they can sometimes get. But good old Tassie weather, I tell you what, it's a ring-a-ding-ding day of weather down there today, Eddie. The wind, tell you what, it was absolutely vertical in the first quarter. It certainly lightened off a little bit when the rain came, but I tell you what, the wind's picked up a little bit, and you can see that when they're kicking. The last shot on goal there from Port Adelaide was kicking from about 37 metres out and couldn't even quite make the distance. That shows you, folks, the wind playing a big part in it today. Of course, Port Adelaide will be kicking with the wind in the third quarter, and I'll tell you what, they want to be 3 goals up at 3/4 time if they're a chance to win this game. One other thing I did notice, though, Port Adelaide not handling the wet, slippery ball as well as Hawthorn. It seems to be just going through the hands of the Port Adelaide players. Maybe they need to get a little bit of grippo, put that on their hands so the ball sort of holds a little bit more. But they're certainly having trouble handling the ball in these wet and slippery conditions, whereas I notice Hawthorn seems to be a fraction better in that area, which is certainly doing them a lot of favours. All right, just before they come back, we're going to go down and have a look at the goal scorers. As it stands up until half-time, we've got a few there. We've got Jack Lucasis for Port Adelaide. He's kicked 2 and the only multiple for Port Adelaide. Lorenz and Georgie Arters are the other single goal scorers. Only 3 goal scorers so far for Port Adelaide as we go into half-time. For Hawthorn, Cash Ladeer's kicked 2. Jack Gunston has kicked 2 ripping goals. I tell you what, he kicked one from the boundary, and he kicked one that in these weather conditions you just shouldn't be able to kick, but he did it. I tell you what, if there's ever a guy that you want the ball in the hand to have a shot after the siren, if it's not Jamie Elliott, it's definitely Jack Gunston. He's got 2 also. Nick Watson got a free kick, cleared the ball out of the centre, went for a run, and then of course got tackled, lifted his arm up to get his fake free kick. I tell you what, that's cheating. That's cheating, Nick Watson. I tell you what, the umpires need to stamp that out. But anyway, it was a fantastic effort, and Dylan Moore with a goal. There are your goal scorers for Hawthorn up until half-time. We'll come back and have a look at the disposal getters in just a moment. Let's hope, hopefully Elliott gets 6 goals tomorrow. Yeah, I hope so too, Eddie. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Let's just head back down to the commentators for a little bit of analysis, and then we'll come back to the player disposals.
So they're not out of it. They're not out of this season if they win this game, but they need to win it to keep their season alive. The Hawks, that's the live ladder. If they win this game, they're still in contention for top 4. What have you made of it so far, guys?
Even though the Hawks actually put a little bit of a gap in the scoreline in that second quarter, I didn't mind Port Adelaide's work around the stoppage, Bradley. I thought they were a lot better there. They just made some decision errors. They turned the ball over. They gave away a few too many free kicks for my liking. And Hawthorn, whoever kicks to the right-hand side of the screen, I know it's old-fashioned. You talked about old-fashioned footy, Dwayne. Just get the ball in your forward line and make the other team live under pressure for the quarter.
Definitely. A couple of players that have stood out. Dylan Moore, 18 disposals plus 1. Hardwick with 7 marks in these conditions is well and truly in front of anyone else in the game so far. Ollie Wine's 14 for Port Adelaide. But it's Jack Gunston up forward, judgment, who has been fantastic. You're right, that's the perfect word. His judgment in these conditions. He's used every ounce of experience he has in the game, and that one there was a beautiful lead rubber show behind the goals, and he was able to sort of work earlier off the line and come back up with the footy. Dylan Moore, as we mentioned, has been sensational. That was the goal of the first half. What a finish by Jack Gunston.
What have you made of the Wizards so far, Uriah?
Well, down here
in the opening half, he was about to break out. He could still break out in the second half.
Yeah, he did it. He kicked the goal to the left-hand side of the screen about 6 weeks ago down here, and I thought he was going to repeat the dosage, get one at either end. This one, the little rove and get, give and get and give and get again, and then the high tackle just didn't get low enough. Lockie Jones, but just follows it so well. He's in excitement mode. You know when you get a sniff when you're running towards goal and you think, I've got one here? He has that in the centre circle. If he can actually get hands on at the centre circle, he's like Butters. He thinks to himself and he knows I'm creative. I can make a goal happen here. So that's one dangerous player, as is Zach Butters too, I might add.
Talked about some players might be changing their boots and socks. Dicko might be up for a suit change at half-time. How you going down there, Dicko?
It's beautiful, isn't it, Tassie? We love it. It's raining heavily, as we know. The wind's blowing. It's freezing. I've taken my socks off because they're drenched. I'm actually more... I'm in bare feet, but don't just pan down. The conditions are awful, as we know here, so it's been scrappy the whole way through. One lift I want to see from Port Adelaide is Zach Butters. Rosie and Horn Francis not in this team at the moment, so just want to have a lift. We didn't want to run the Hawks midfielders into form. Well, they're doing that at the moment. He had a big first quarter, but then only the 3 disposals. He did sit 7 minutes on the interchange bench that McGuinness has had his measure in the second quarter. Just want to see a lift, because when they wanted some little chaos through the middle there in the clearance game, he just wasn't there. So I want to see a big lift from him, being the senior player through the middle of the ground. But it's not dying off, Dwayne, so I can hear a hot dog calling my name.
I can hear 2. What have you made of it so far, guys, in terms of Port Adelaide? Can they break their way back into this game? They've got the breeze in the third. Huge quarter coming up.
Absolutely. This is their game in the next 20 minutes of play. Big Sweetie got into it in that second quarter as well. Levelled up against Lloyd Meek. Needs to carry on.
Yeah, good call. I feel like Port Adelaide have to kick 5 in this quarter. It's going to be tough with the conditions, of course, and how slippery it is. But if they get 5 on the board, Dwayne, then look out.
Came from 2 goals down last week in a 37-point turnaround to grab that one, Port Adelaide. That's what they need to do in this. 40 plays 27 at half-time. UTAS Stadium in Launceston.
All right, so they're saying exactly what I'm saying. They need to kick a few goals, Port Adelaide, in this third quarter with the breeze if they're a chance to take this game out for Ken Hinkley. Hey, Mr. Dog, how you doing? How you doing? You a Dog supporter by any chance, or a Hawthorn supporter? One of the two. All right, let's head back and have a look at some of the player stats. Let's see who the ball magnets are out there up until half-time. Dylan Moore continues to lead the way on 18. Tell you what, that's not a bad effort in this in these trying conditions out there. 4 clear of James Warple, of course. Dylan Moore, 13 kicks, 5 handballs, 2 marks, 4 tackles, 2 clearances and a goal. Having a fantastic opening half is Dylan Moore there for Hawthorn. James Warple, as I said, next best on 14 with a couple clearances. Ollie Wine's doing well, relishing in these conditions. He's also had 14, the best of Port Adelaide. 4 clearances also for him, 5 kicks, 9 handballs. MP's having a reasonable game there for the Hawks, giving them plenty of run through the centre on 14. Hardwick on 14 also. Next best for, I was going to say, James Sicily has, he's getting a few touches today. Doing a fair bit of defending down there, so he's going all right. He looked a little bit angry in the opening quarter. He was giving it to the Port Adelaide players, but he settled down a bit in this second term. 12 touches he's had, James Sicily, 8 kicks, 4 handballs, 5 marks, 2 tackles, so he's doing reasonably well out there, getting a little bit of touch back in his hands today, which is great to see from the star Hawthorn player, James Sicily. There we go, as we just roll on down there. Jordan Sweet there for Port. He's at 11. Doing quite well. 4 kicks, 7 handballs, 3 tackles, 22 hitouts, the big man, 4 clearances. So he's having a pretty reasonable game as well, is Jordan Sweet. All right, let's keep on rolling down. Jace Burgoyne, he's a little bit quiet this afternoon, just at 10 touches. Jack Scrimshaw, Jack Ginneman, both on 9, both reasonably quiet in the second term there. Darcy Byrne-Jones, I want to see him getting back into the action a bit more. He's just had the 9. Nick Watson, as I said, just the 8 possessions, 3 kicks, got one of his cheating free kicks, which resulted in a goal. Tell you what, the umpires need to stamp that out. They need to pay that against the players who raise their arms. All right, Zach Butters, as I was saying, Zach Butters needs to get in this game a little bit more. He's only had the 8 touches, folks. He's just had 5 kicks, 3 handballs. He's had 3 tackle, couple clearances, but he's not really having that impact that he needs to be. And, of course, Mitch Georgiades, well, he started off really well in the opening term, quietened off in the second term. Let's see how he goes with the players kicking them down to the breeze. They've just got to kick it long, get it down there, put the opposition under pressure, the defensive side, and try and cause a turnover and score off that. That's what Port Adelaide need to do. Well, the first thing they need to do is just handle the ball properly in these wet conditions. It's, as I said, it's wet and slippery. Players having a bit of trouble out there holding on to that ball. As I said, Jack Gunston, the man on the ground that you want to be having, the hands on the ball when you got a set shot. And he's got a perfect record today. 2 from 2, 4 kicks, 2 straight goals. Absolutely sensational goals from Jack Gunston. As you would expect. There we go. Cash Ladir, only the 3 touches, but he's kicked 2 goals as well, so he's going fantastic. All right, let's just pop over for a moment and have a little bit of a look at the team stats, because let me check the time. Oh yeah, we're still 7 minutes away from the bounce of the ball for the third quarter. There we go, and we'll have a look at the live ladder in just a moment for all you Hawthorn supporters out there. Just looking at the team stats, disposal count, well, it's plus 33 to Hawthorn. Well, as I said, in that second term, it did look like they had the game on their terms. It's just hard to score, folks. It's hard to score in these conditions. Although it was good to see 3 goals in the first and second term from Hawthorn. 20 plus kicks, 13 plus handballs. I tell you what, it's a good idea just to get the ball on the boot this afternoon in this type of weather, especially when you're going with the breeze. As I said, put maximum pressure on the opposition, get it long down into your forward 50, and then you can make the magic happen when you're down there. Inside 50s, well, Hawthorn getting the better of that. Well, I did kick with the breeze. I had a fair bit that second term. 29 inside 50s for Hawthorn. 10 scoring shots, so not too bad, going scoring shot every 2.9 times. They're going inside their forward 50, and of course for Port Adelaide, 23 inside their forward 50, 7 scoring shots, so just over 3 entries per score for them. Of course, disposal efficiency around the ground, this is going to be low for both teams because it's just so hard to handle a ball out there. 62% for Hawthorn, that's a pretty good figure considering 55% for Port Adelaide. As I said, Port Adelaide, they're just struggling in these conditions to handle the ball. They probably don't get conditions like this too often. Well, probably not as Hawthorn, but they do play down in Tasmania a little bit more. Efficiency inside 50, both a little bit low, but, as we expected in the conditions, just as we thought, and as we can see, and as the call, I'll tell you what, the umpires, I think the umpires are favouring Hawthorn a little bit in the free kick department today. From some of the free kicks we've been seeing today, they could be the umpires' pets. I know the umpires shouldn't be having favourites out there, but I tell you what, folks, it does look like Hawthorn are their favourites today. It's 14-6, the free kick count. Hawthorn's way. They're +8. They're doubled Port Adelaide's free kick and a half. There we go. Let's try and... Well, look, free kicks aren't always meant to be even. Free kicks are there to be given when they're supposed to be given and not when they're not. So let's get this umpiring back in hand, umpires. If you can hear it, this commentary, get the free kicks back in hand. Just pay the ones that deserve to be paid and are there. Just looking at the hit-outs, Hawthorn doing okay there. They're +2 in the hit-outs, 25-23. Clearances, of course, all tied up in the clearances. Hawthorn, Port Adelaide, 24 apiece. Centre clearances, Hawthorn, they're +2 out of the centre clearances. Super important to get the centre clearance, especially when you're going with the breeze. You get that centre clearance, you're going to be kicking that deep inside your forward 50. And as I said, you're putting maximum pressure on the defence of the opposing team. So they're doing well there. Port Adelaide, stoppage clearances, 2018. They're +2 around the ground. So it's pretty good. Look, both teams are reasonably even in the clearances. There we go. I mean, it could be more to one side than the other. Even when one team's got the looks like they're going to grab the ball and go for a run, it slips out of their hands. It's just trying conditions. Tell you what, she's a hard-fought, tough, scrappy game. This one today, as I said, it's going to be the team who take their chances when their chances arrive. Tell you what, if you can kick a goal is golden in these conditions today. Contested possessions, Hawthorn there by 12. As I said, they did bring the pressure pretty good in that second term. I've thought Hawthorn has sort of slightly been in front for the entire match so far, and certainly reflects on the scoreboard. Port Adelaide need to lift in many departments, that is for sure. Uncontested, Hawks by 30. Turnovers, look, this isn't actually too bad. 39-38 from both sides. what should be a high turnover game in trying conditions. So not too bad there. The marks, as was said back here, look, they're plus 30 in uncontested. So as the Hawks do, chip it around a bit, they are plus 20 in the marks, but it's the marks inside 50. 3 to 4, it's tough conditions to mark inside the forward 50. The ball holding up, folks, when you're going inside forward 50, when you're going against the breeze, players just need to accommodate for the drop of the ball. It's going to be a little bit shorter. And, of course, for the side going with the breeze, you want to have a spare out the back because, as Dermy said during the call, the ball, if you don't get a good fist on it and hit a flush, it's going to skim off the knuckles and sort of go over the back of the pack. So that's a fantastic position to be positioned if you can. 3 to 4 the marks, Port Adelaide by 1 inside their forward 50. And if we duck down to the tackles, both teams tackling reasonably well this afternoon. 47-44 plus 3 to the Hawks. But I'm really loving this figure from Port Adelaide, really bringing the pressure in their forward 50. 12 tackles. There we go. They are already 20% above season average of 10.6. 12 up until halftime, Port Adelaide. Absolutely fantastic. Hawthorn, they need to... they need to lift the intensity inside their forward 50 tackle count, keep the ball in, as I said, get that turnover and try and make things happen. If we just have a look at the live ladder now, that is updated. This was where Hawthorn was sitting. Hawthorn prior to this game was sitting 7th on 44, but with the live ladder turned on, this is where Hawthorn are sitting at the moment on the live ladder. They've jumped up into 4th if they win this game by this margin, and they got that 1.4% clear on the GWS Giants. So for Hawthorn, it's a must-win game. They want to stay in the top 4, of course. Another Melbourne side, they've got to keep this performance up. All right, folks, hey, let's head back down to the action where it's Hawthorn by 13 points. Port Adelaide kicking with the breeze. Port Adelaide, they need to kick, they need to be about 3 goals up going into the final term to have a chance, I think, in this game. All right, let's head back down to the action. Balance of the ball for the third quarter.
At different stages. So still another minute until the bounce here.
Port Adelaide are going to try, what they're going to try and do with Butters is running away from Hardwick. Hardwick won't follow him into the midfield, and therefore they're trying to free Butters up, plays a high half forward, and gets an easier run at the ball without being tagged by Finn McGuinness.
Spot on, great pick up. The other big matchup was Drew on Newcomb only the 4 disposals for the half, so I'll be looking to get going in this third term as well from a Hawthorn perspective.
Got little side tactics going on here.
Players just got into positions a little bit too early, and now they're suffering.
What about the DJ? The DJ, they're standing out there in the rain. He's playing cute go out in the rain. It's been raining for so long. Just taunting them even more. We're underway in the second half.
Oh, there you go. That's why you have a ruck rover who's 6'5" in Connor Nash. He's able to hold that tackle. Good hit. Fighting back well here, Big Sweetie.
Amon danced his way past a couple delightfully. Kicks a wobber inside 50. Aaliyah bangs it out. Port Adelaide with the breeze in this third. They need to make it work for them.
That was great cover by Hardwick.
Butters boat tried to go off the deck, kicked it back into the congestion.
That ball was going one place over the back, and Butters had read that perfectly. So Hardwick did extremely well to slide and cover Butters so he couldn't get goal side.
He's the guy, Zach Butters.
So you're going to get a free kick on the play here. Hardwick's going to get an easy run here because McGuinness has come out of the midfield now. He said, I'm having none of that. You're not playing a high half forward, Zach Butters. I'm coming straight to you, even if I have to play as a half-back flanker.
Only 2 goals this year, 8 for his career, Jordan Sweet. This game, 42.
It's been a really solid fight back since quarter time by Jordan Sweet.
He's got the breeze behind him. Launches it, holds its line, and he hit it. Sweet. Did Jordan Sweet.
Well, Tim, he's the highest rated player on the ground at 125. Next is Hardwick at 85. So there you go in terms of what he's been able to do to turn the game around in his favour in that matchup against Meek. And that's a big finish. We know he's a powerful unit and got a good launch on him, but that was hit that hard. It did not deviate at all with the breeze.
Push and shove behind play continues. It started like this. There's another double goal at the start of this as well. From the flick down. Over to you, Lloyd Meek. Couldn't quite get onto it. Newcomb. D'Ambrosio's going the wrong way.
So you can't let him have that big a turn.
Ginnivan can't get there either. Trying to keep it in.
You just got to get pressure onto those dominant left footers. You just got to keep them on their right foot. Yeah, McGuinness is starting inside the forward 50 arc, bounces the ball, and then he runs straight to the back line to pick up Zach Butters.
Again, Butters, 38 possessions in the win over the West Coast last week, had 33 against Hawthorn in round 5. But he doesn't have Connor Rosey out there to lend him a hand as Drew nearly picked their pockets and kept running it. No Jason Horne-Francis from Port Adelaide as well, so arguably the best two players not out there, but Hawthorn fans will be screaming at home saying, no Will Day, no Mabior Chol, no Josh Weddle.
So Butters comes up to the stoppage now, standing out the back of the ruckman.
Picked off a deck by Burgoyne. Bouncing ball, the coach just knew what he wanted to do, but couldn't quite do it. Another ball in. Good spot for a ball in though for Port Adelaide here. Need to have a lead at three-quarter time, you would think, given Hawthorn are coming home and kicking in the direction of the rain and the wind in the last quarter. All kicking with it now. Meek knocks it down. Sweet lays a hard tackle with Joe Richards. Also coming off a pretty good game last week, arguably his best for Port. 23 possessions and 2 goals, 3. Joe Richards. Boak couldn't get a kick away. Amon. D'Ambrosio. It's wide. Deere will get it. Brilliant mark against the grain, and he's almost been knocked out. Zach Butters, unbelievable.
That is enormous, Dwayne. Obviously back with the flight ball holding up.
He's some sort of player, isn't he?
And that's what he can do. He just has those moments where he just puts his head in the hole, cops it, gets up. He's just a club.
Contest. Yeah, well done. Well done.
This one here, I'm sitting in line with this. Inside left post. Home sweet home.
Signed for next year, but not beyond. One of the best players in the comp. Takes one of the marks of the afternoon. Can he kick one of the goals of the day? Can't.
Before the rain, before the rain, Dwayne, that bends. It's a little bit that moisture in the air. It just holds the course a little straighter.
Too many raindrops on that one, dude.
Yeah.
Couldn't push it towards the goal mouth, though. Sicily takes some time.
He's played on. He's just standing there.
Yeah, because he's wasting as much time as he can. So he waltzed over the line. No one knew it, so he got to use an extra 10 seconds. Morrison tried the knock on. Boak also against the grain. Ginnivan kicks it off the deck.
Oh, he just wants that all day.
See, McGuinness stayed down. Kelsey Deere friendly fire kicked him in the stomach.
Bergman throw with the umpire said. Well, it's free.
These are the conditions where you get on the bus after and you didn't realise you had a cork because you're that cold, freezing.
You look down and see you've got a broken finger.
Zach Thatcher goes with a double fist, knocks it down. Jones got a kick away just in time. Bergman hammers it, gets it 70 over the back. Hardwick races back, twisting towards the goals. Lucky he did get back. This hits the pause button. Time to spend it. Sail over them. Poke. Drew stands under this with Newcomb, protected the drop zone but couldn't mark it. Straight through the corridor they travel. Aaliyah fumbles, trouble. Gunston pursues him Tried to make it somebody else's problem and did. To Farrell. Pokes that 70. Under it. Hardwick got back. Couldn't mark it. Hits the deck. Georgiades hasn't seen it for a while. Hit him at the back of the head. Lukosius tried something clever. Georgiades likewise. In the scramble. Little nudge out. He dropped it. Tough ball to handle at the moment. Moore, best player of the first half, puts it out of play on the full. The whole season, you feel, Port Adelaide comes down to this quarter. And it comes down to Butters. Can he drive them? Captaining the team today. It's long. Lord! Nice chest mark, and this kick becomes monumental.
Thank you. Harry.
This kick to tie it up.
It's his first kick. He's had a couple of handballs. I was just thinking a few moments ago, he's been trying to rough up Sicily, get Sicily's mind off the game. He's been trying to do that to a few of the Hawks defenders. And I said to myself, it's probably time you actually got a kick to justify the position. Do all that other stuff on top of this. Get him.
And he takes his moment perfectly.
He's happy too, and he should be. That's a good finish there. Strong kick, strong mark as well to be able to take that on the chest. The ball was coming in quick and dropping fast. Just got to the right spot. A lot of players around the ball to take a chest mark inside. Forward 50 is a great effort. Just drifted nicely, didn't it? Put himself in front, the right spot.
You know, because of the wetness, I know it's a scoring end to the right, but if you can come in at three-quarter time, all locked up, it puts pressure on the other team to actually get a score away.
And we know there's some spice between these two in recent meetings. It's been a game that you could not turn away from. Ollie Lord, only 9 possessions, no score against the West Coast Eagles last week. Had some Sandford games this year where he's barely touched it. Hasn't kicked the selection door down. Now 1 kick, 1 goal to tie it all up. Liddy gets under it. Morrison with a fist. Not further on. Ward got away. Floats it wide. Just out in front of Deere. Spent that before it earned it. He looked around to see who was there for the handoff. Hassel by Lear. Runs into Jackson. Kept alive. Hardwick outside of the boot. Brilliant. Ward drifted inside 50. Doesn't believe he's got this kick in him. Jack has.
They've got to get onto him. So Farrell's cruising past. Stop. Stop, Kane Farrell. Don't go past him. You've got to stop him coming out to the right. Oh, they're going to give him a fair bit of leniency
here. It's a great pickup.
This is
Jeremy. There is no one near the umpires. Where's he going?
So he centres it. Unselfish. Maybe to his detriment. No one can pounce on it. That was bizarre. This whole game's been bizarre.
But he would have centred it, Dwayne, and the ball would have been 45 out.
Yeah.
So the next shot wouldn't have made the distance. Anyway, it was a chance from there. Like, at least have a crack, 20 metres out.
Oh, John, I'm with you. They sit in that pocket for hours the day before the game practicing, and even in these conditions, he would have got there.
That's it.
Not milking the clock, is he? Well, Port Adelaide got the breeze. Little floater. Just making sure they possess it. Richards hammers it away. Lukosius dropped it. Scrimshaw corrals him. He tried a little shake on him. He couldn't back him. Gone.
It's a couple of times there. Doesn't have a left leg. And that's his problem, Lukosius. If he had a left foot, then he would have been able to use it on that occasion just to keep
the handball, though? I thought he got the handball.
Sin knocks it to the boundary.
I mean, it was a pretty poor play by Lukosius there. He didn't have an exit strategy of any way, shape or form, but he still got the handball away from the tackle. Have a look again here. So, I mean, that turn's not going to dupe anybody.
Yeah, true.
He got the handball away. I reckon he's been stiffed.
Maybe the umpire didn't think he punched it from the palm of his hand. It was in the air.
Technical now.
Technical. Oh, sorry. Just looking at the rule book for a second. Forgot that we don't need to really look at that anymore, do we? Supposed to actually punch it off the palm of your hand.
Yes, I agree.
A slider inside. Aaliyah pumps it back out. Gets plenty of distance on it. Lord was held by the shorts. No, he held Sicily.
Yes, he did that pretty well, Ollie Lord. He just did that little bit of sling action to get to the rear position, sensing there on the bottom of the screen that he almost marked it.
Not quite Evans. Morrison.
That was out of the palm too, that one guy.
All right, thank you. Jackson. Ward. Harwick. Tough one to collect. Little slap out. Farrell. Stolen back. Big Lloyd Meek with the dexterity. The battle. Heads long. Hits a good spot. Deer. 1-2. Got it.
Took the pace off it. It's like a wet weather mark. The flat hand on the first touch is like the old traditional wet weather mark. You take the pace off it, and then the second grab is the soft clutch to the chest. It's a clever mark.
Going to be an interesting forward line come September. Marby Chol to come back. Gunston's having the season of his life again. Mitch Lewis back in today. And Cal Shadir, 3 goals from 9 possessions last week. Keeps it low. Post. That goal would have been worth almost 2. The lead by that. So this is the opportunity for Farrell for the big launch down the middle if he wants.
Just get it there in 2 kicks and put the pressure on Hawthorn.
It's wide. Lord got there with a big fist. Over here, Sweaty. Kicks it towards the wing. Lines. Bergman. McDonald. Little double clutch. Good enough though. Squeeze the kick away and it's coming back. Butters. Farrell. Here's the big kick. 70 over the back. It sails. Only one man, Georgiades. Jackson traps it. They get him. Cut him down. No free. Scrimshaw. Last on at defence. Danger for Amon. And he got away with that.
You see the desperation or the decision-making in Scrimshaw. I will not kick it out to the camera side of the ground because the scoring is so open with the breeze predominantly coming down the centre, slightly from this side.
Hit him in the back of the head. Hit Drew in the back of the head, that throwing.
It's a big kick against the breeze.
Aaliyah. Taken out. So technically that's a free kick.
Yes, yeah, it is.
He touched it before it got to the rucks.
Yep.
Although that should be a throw in again, surely.
Yeah, it's common sense though, isn't it, from the umpire? I reckon that's all right.
So they just forget the actual rule when there's a reason to not worry about it. I like it. Yep. There's a rule book, but hey, it's only in pencil. Waldron, a torp, inside 50. Lord knocked it down. Central kick, McGuinness. Every possession huge now. Port Adelaide with the breeze in this third. You'd think they'd need to lead at 3/4 time to win the game. Toe from Butters was clever. Kick around the body just as good. Skims past a couple. Lord. Georgiades. He's got plenty on it. Wide. All tied up again. So Liddy has come to the back row. Dylan Williams, who kicked 7 goals in the SANFL last week, had to be brought back in by Port. Impossible not to bring him in. 7 goals in the SANFL last week, and he's never kicked an AFL goal. This is game 28 for him. So it'll be interesting to see where they position him. There he is on the phone. And the number 23, getting the instructions from Ken. Not quite yet, son. Me couldn't quite. Now he does try to get a kick away.
They don't have a spare back here, the Hawks do. So Port Adelaide have made sure they've got even numbers.
Yeah, from the stoppage when it's 70 out. Yep.
Haven't won many last quarters this year either, Port. Hasn't been their forte. And to try and grab a lead and hold on, you'd think. Ken Hinkley again, 13th and final season as coach. They lose this, they can't play finals. He's got 5 games left, and that's it at the helm of Port Adelaide. Meek. Lewis under it and a big fly. No mark. Lewis crumbed it in the end. Stayed down. Boat got an ugly bounce. Ginnivan got there. Flicked down. Still alive for Ginnivan. Almost home. Bergman did brilliantly, did Jack.
Pressure's there.
27 possessions and a goal last week in the loss to Fremantle. Jack Ginnivan, he's been getting more possessions and hasn't been as close to goal in recent times. Burgoyne bumped out of it by Ward. Slaps it out. A little tough. The deck was clever. Watson.
Ward's work has been pretty good today. He's been a little bit more solid over the ball. We know he's got talent, but he can get pushed sideways by big midfielders, but he stayed right over it today. Hawthorn haven't jumped with their sub yet either. Talk about that in a second. Going to be out of bounds on foot. Dwayne, I'm a big believer in wet conditions. If you want your sub to come on and be good, he's got to acclimatise to the conditions. So if you want a full quarter out of your sub, you probably have to give him 4 or 5 minutes before the three-quarter time break.
Get him out there in the rain.
Yep.
Deer flew. Lady in the crowd, you had to kick the wet ball.
And on the hill.
Yeah.
Not in boots. Great kick.
Yeah, absolutely. And against the breeze.
Keep her feet.
Kept her feet. Put on a clinic.
And it was on a non-dominant.
Maybe she can kick both sided, unlike most footballers these days. Skims towards Scrimshaw. Caught, throw. So Port Adelaide get a chance here to take the lead.
Hardwick's back.
Burgoyne can go. His first thought was to stop though. And mongrels it. Go get that. Amon does. Morrison is having a pretty good year. De Hardwick hammers it as far as he can. One-on-one. Zerk-Thatcher and Lewis. Ginnivan kept it in. And here goes Morrison. Harry sized them up. Lewis. They've got 2 over the top. It's a raffle. Deer. More. Open goal. Bang. That's worth 2.
Well done. Great finish. I'm going to take my hat off again to Mitch Lewis. It's a tough day for him to first come back in, try and get his hands on the footy, but that contest and the follow-up here gets to his feet and runs side on as the pace car, receives 4 or 5 steps, identifies the dangerous ground.
Fantastic vision of the Bunnings build up to that one for the Hawks against the breeze, against the rain.
It was great off half-back, wasn't it? It was a poor kick inside 50 from Burgoyne, and they were able to clean it up. Yeah. The Hawks, once they released to the bench side of the ground, it was on for them. They had players out everywhere and used it effectively.
So Georgiades in reverses look dangerous, but they haven't had anyone else really who's been able to bring the ball to the ground and allow the pressure to store for Port Adelaide.
So Meek v Wine's the ruck. Wine's still got the clearance anyway, so even though Meek had the reach of the Lukosius.
Yeah, he has got it in him. If he wants to have a launch here, he does have the distance.
He's kicked 2. Jack Lukosius. This is what they bought him for. Kick some big goals.
That's good. Just calm your heart rate down. You know how to kick it. There's an exquisite kick of the football. Calm down, settle, and give it a ride.
For number 3.
Oh, hang on.
Top of the square. Newcomb drops it. 20 players around it. Look at that on your screen in that congestion. So Lewis, not sure they decided that pre-game to manage his minutes or not, but
I'd reckon,
Yeah, that was tactical, boys. They just sent a message through Hawthorn, so put him on ice for the day.
As we mentioned earlier, first game in the AFL for 378 days after the ACL injury to Mitch Lewis, even though he's played 3 games for Box Hill.
6 minutes ago, you'd send him in for a shower, warm up, and then come back out in full tracksuit.
Yeah. Well done, Mitch Lewis. That's a good return. Tough conditions, but work hard, tirelessly.
I agree, Dan. Showed presence today.
Haley McDonald, the sub, back into the lineup for the Hawks this week.
He's got some wheels, McDonald.
Yes, he what? He takes them on. Burgoyne. It's a pretty good spot with the kick. Lukosius to the gather. He couldn't from there, could he?
Seriously.
Wow, that would have been something.
Seriously. I don't know. If I'm Josh Carr, I'm just making him kick on his left all week. All week.
So you're saying Josh Carr takes over next week, Jono?
Oh, he's probably doing some specialist coaching still.
Wanted to find out if they can't make it, who you think should coach from here on in. You've put your 2 bobs worth in. Zerk Thatcher can't get it. Farrell kicks around the body. Play on. And still got 5 minutes and 40 with the breeze, Port Adelaide. Well played, McGuinness. Kept Butters off the ball. Skimmed off the deck. The Wizard. Little toe poke is good. Keeps it in front. What can the Wizard conjure here? Bumped out of it, but it's alive. Nash hands it further on. Deer with the handball. Impey put it to grass. Goes back, mops it up. McDonald sees it out.
The Wizard, he just had Sin chasing him. Sin's quick. Sin's I think his best ever in 100 is just under 11 seconds.
Wow.
As a junior.
Yeah.
So,
Was it in the back?
it was just
Didn't
unlucky.
make a
He
play
was
at
just
all.
unlucky that Sin was chasing him.
2 hands in the back.
Winds and battle, as you saw. Warple
Clever kick.
bounced it. The spin, the kick. Not quite the brilliance from Jack Gunston this time.
But the knowledge to know that 9 out of 10 snap kicks forward out of the pack that was presented ahead of him are going to drop short. So he gets that as a trigger movement and runs forward to that dropped ball. We're just seeing so much experience just come to the fore here that benefits his game.
And ball in, better for Hawthorn than kicking it behind there as well. It worked in their favour. Keep it in their area. More seconds off the clock. There's that Sin Watson battle. And there's battle in that battle. Oh, he tried to shake him.
It's a good tackle.
Hard to get away from the Wolverine. Hugh Jackson. Lines. Through hands.
You're entertaining when you're in these moods, Tony.
Wait until you're sitting next to me on the plane ride home. Ball to be won by Darcy Burn-Jones. By Sicily. He put him almost into the fence there. He released him at the right time, did James, thankfully. Showed a bit of mercy. 5-point margin. Is Port Adelaide season going to come down to this next 5 minutes with the breeze? Warple right into Drew. Drew goes his way to Amon. High. And is that allowed? No, it's not allowed.
Had him cold, Kane Farrell. Just had to apply it, hold him up, get the next stoppage. He waited for Ward to come on off the bench.
That is brilliant by Carl Amon. He's having one of the best seasons of his career. He could be all Australian bound the way he's going. Calchadir! Grabs. He's got soft hands. He knows how to double pat it down in the rain, which is an art form.
It's a tremendous grab, and we're going to get another look at. Can we just go back to Carl Amon looked to the bench and he saw that there was a player coming on. He waited for him to get onto the field before he passed it to Ward.
I think it was that Jack Gunston running behind Kelsey then and just gave him a little bit of advice on where he should put this. Jack said further left, I'm sure.
See the wind and the rain moving it late.
That is an important point. They all are important in these conditions, aren't they?
We're not allowed to keep his seat. Again, as Jono said, those posts were shaking. It was the breeze and the rain moving them, making it tough for all the players and tough for the fans out there, the rain. And the wind.
Tough. They're tough, Dicko.
They are tough.
Yeah, you're not, Dicko.
And it is ironic, maybe the footy gods are saying something, whether we need a roof down here in Tassie for the new stadium, given it's election day today, and it is bucketing down, and as breezy as it's ever been. Wines caught. Holding the man.
Too long in the tackle.
The Wolverine goes, kicks inside 50, skims its way to Barris. Pumps it back out. More seconds tick down. It's a clever kick. D'Ambrosio. Hunted. Ginnivan kept it alive. Sub on. Bailey McDonald now gets a touch. And the Leah should cut this off. It's on full anyway.
So that's what I'm saying. So that first touch there, you need that acclimatisation now. When the whips get cracking in the last quarter and you've got to score to win, he now has got a feel for the wind, the conditions, and he doesn't have to do it in an important moment in the last quarter.
More than bucketing down now. It's coming hard. Harder than it's come down all day. Aim on.
Dwayne,
Probably insufficient.
it's coming in Forrest Gump. It's coming straight up. It's coming sideways. It's coming every which way.
Look at that.
Oh, that's pretty uncool.
It's extraordinary.
Fists go up. Lorenz around his body. To half. Well, it's good commitment as well for his heart and soul, as he always does. Blake Hardwick into that.
Good once again. Ace part for the day. So reliable, isn't he? 20th possession here.
High ball. Aaliyah. Another intercept mark.
Imagine going off the first at Barnbougle in this.
Off hands. Aim on. Wobbler. High. Off hands. Impey. Watson. Gunston. Can he get the little roll? He does. He sizes them up. He is a superstar, and it's good to have him. He's ageless.
Well, he just seemed to take it for the right time there. Jack Gunston knew that his teammates were going to win the ball at the contest, and that they did. So it was smart play from Jack Gunston. Well done by the Wizard. There's his direct opponent, Leah. He's right up at the contest. So well done. And he just bobbled away from him a little bit, Derby. He had to stop on his run, but he didn't panic, did he? No, and that's the thing. He still had the control here to be able to semi-dribble. Beautiful kick. Couple of big goals into the threes now in this quarter. One of the Hawks to take the advantage back their way.
That could be the final kick of the Port Adelaide season.
Flying in the air. 1.5 minutes left. Hawthorn by 12. Handy break with the breeze in the last. And Scrimshaw disguised that well enough.
Plus 22 for contested possessions. Now the Hawks. Oh yes. Yeah, give us the Cobra, because that is really brave up there.
He's got to get double time and a half, surely. Close to the boundary, and it rolls out. Ken Hinkley knows 13th and final season as coach. The announcement of Ken's departure maybe stopping the speculation from happening. Would he coach next year or not? Well, they've known all season he's not. Josh Carr is taking over. And now there'll be speculation as to if they lose this game, whether Josh Carr should take over immediately. Adelaide next week in the showdown. You'd have to give Ken the showdown at least. And I think they'll probably let him coach it out. But there's going to be a lot of talk about it. Port Adelaide's mathematical hopes of playing finals. Only alive if they win this. And they're getting washed away like tears in the rain now. Butters tried his heart out captaining today. Good attack from D'Ambrosio. McDonald, little toe off the deck. Here goes Watson. Counters and goes. Kept it alive. Ward heads inside. Bangs it into space. The race. Jackson, clean-handed.
Oh, it's fallen.
He fell, Burgoyne. Back again. Morrison. High. Goal square. Flyers go up. Off hands. Watson. Did he get one for High? Or did he drop it?
Advantage was taken and should have been paid. I told him the ball. I thought it was a free kick to Watson. I was with you, Dwayne.
Had Pryor, the umpire said.
Wow. I thought it was holding the man.
We'll have a look at it.
Here we go.
It's around the front.
Okay. As I said earlier, it depends on which umpire you ask as to how long Pryor is.
Yeah, I thought he did take possession of the ball and was dragged down.
He had it. He got knocked free in the tackle, and the tackle lingered on him.
Still a chance here late from Mark. Ginnivan. Siren sounds. Three-quarter time, UTAS Stadium in Launceston. Wind coming in sideways, rain coming down by the bucket load. Dropped it in the tackle.
Yeah, it's a good call.
Yeah, Dwayno, we've got the wizard. He's walked over to the umpire right now and he's pointed up to the screen and said, "You watch this replay with me."
So you're allowed to do that. Once upon a time that was dissent.
It was, but he's actually talked the umpire through the footage.
This game, it's hilarious at times. You got to laugh. If you're a Hawthorn fan, you got to at least smile. They lead by 12 points. They kicked the last 2 goals of the game. To be 8-6 to 6-6 with a quarter to play and the breeze to come home with.
All right, three-quarter time here. There we go. It's Hawthorn. Can you believe it? It's hard to believe Hawthorn in front of three-quarter time. 8-6-54, 6-6-42 Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide just can't get the job done in that breeze, kicking 2 goals, 3 in that third term. 2 goals, 2 to Hawthorn. Absolutely fantastic effort by the Hawks going against the breeze. I tell you what, there we go. There we go. Hawthorn going to kick with the breeze in this final term. And the team that has been going with the breeze has not been outscored in any quarter so far. I think this game is Hawthorn. I think Hawthorn will come home with a victory here. This is Hawthorn's game to lose because they shouldn't lose from here. 12 points up, 2 goals, as I said. Goals here are like a golden egg from the what is it? The golden goose. The golden egg, I tell you what, they're pretty tough to come by in these conditions. The wind has picked up again, so Hawthorn kicking with a bit stronger breeze now, coming up in this final term, and the wind has picked up. It's like sheets going across the screen vertically. I tell you what, unbelievable conditions down here in Tasmania. It's wet type of thing. There we go. You got a good multi going on. You're a Freo supporter till the Eagles climb back up the ladder. Hey, Stephen, there we go. You and Addy, both Freo supporters. Hey, I'm a Collingwood supporter, so come and join that game tomorrow and we can cheer on the Pies together. Or Freo. Or anyway, I tell you what, tomorrow's game is going to be a fantastic game. This is actually going to be a great test for Fremantle tomorrow to see where they actually are this season. You Pies, I tell you what, you can't go past a 4-20 or a good hot pie. Just don't burn your mouth when you bite into it. You got to stick a little bit of tomato sauce on there, and it all goes down a treat. I tell you what, it's going to be a good test for them. See where they are. Hey, just for you two boys, the live ladder where it sits at the moment. Hawthorn increasing that percentage. There we go, 1.1% above Giants if they stay at this margin. They're going to jump up to 4th. Of course, Freo still sitting 8th on the position. And thank goodness for Freo supporters. Western Bulldogs lost yesterday. They'll remain in the top 8 after this round. Just looking at the goal scorers now, Jack Gunston. I tell you what, this bloke, some people sometimes when we have these coverages of the Hawthorn games, they say he's no good, he's too old, he's a dud. I tell you what, Jack Gunston, he's a star. He is super, super reliable when needed. Tell you what, the 3 goals he's kicked today are just absolutely fantastic. They've not been easy shots at goal in these conditions, but he's put them through. He's kicked 3 straight from his 6 kicks. I tell you what, Jack Gunston, Hawthorn, lucky to have him. I tell you what, he's playing fantastic footy. You can't disagree with that. Dylan Moore with 2, Gunston with 3, Cash Ladere also with 2 for the Hawks, Watson with 1, Port Adelaide, Lucasis with 2, the only multiple, Jordan Sweet, Lorenz, Lord, Georgiades a single. Just have a look at the top possession getters out on the ground. Dylan Moore continues to lead the way on 21 with 2 goals. Well done. He's going really good, isn't he, Dylan Moore? Expect him to continue on his merry way in the final term. Blake Hardwick up to 20. The top possession getter out there for Port Adelaide, Kane Farrell on 23 clearances. Impey Warple doing their work, 19 and 18. Burgoyne 18. Ollie Wine 17 with Butters. Butters needs a big quarter in this final quarter. As I said, she's going to be pretty tough. In this final quarter for the Port Adelaide to get up over the line here. Look, there's still hope if you're a Port Adelaide supporter and you're still in the chat. There's still hope. It's only 2 goals, but gee whiz, in these conditions, she's mighty tough. It's certainly Hawthorn's game to lose, I think, at this present time. Kicking with the breeze. I think the breeze might have settled down a bit, but there's still a breeze going Hawthorn's way, and of course still light rain out there. These conditions can only get worse. All right, let's head back down to the ground for the final quarter. Where's the Hawks by 2 goals?
To come home with. The players' lips in the Port Adelaide huddle was shaking at 3/4 time. They were so cold. It is crazy.
Well, I can vouch for that, Dwayne. I'm now up in the
Yes, thanks for joining us, Nico. Good to have you alongside us. Just don't get us wet.
Right, Doctor's running around Hawthorn's forward 50 line. There we go. No, Hawthorn's... Yeah, and just giving Jabbity his mouth guard. No, I think he's handing out hot hands. Yeah, that's right. The little tax, you know, you're breaking to warm up.
Very good.
Yes. Well, so expect from the right-hand side of the screen at the first man, Finn McGuinness will run in and pick up Butters, who's opposed to Ward right at this moment.
Sweet. Takes off. Bergman. Again, it's a tough slippery ball. Even the fresh ball after 3/4 time, Bergman couldn't pick up. Awful. Handed it straight back to Sweet, who pumps it. Port need a hero in a hurry. Barris stops Georgiades from beating that here. Same 167. He's been a good pickup. And Josh Battle holding up in defence at the moment for the Hawks. Sweet knocked it down. Warple bumped off it. Lorenz. Bergman tried to knock on. Battle couldn't do something with it. Just flung out into space. Take whatever they can get. Ward. Slung. Extracts a kick. Sin. Wobbles it. Mead couldn't get there. And Morrison got there ahead of him and pumps it out wide. They've got the breeze.
Clever. Knocked it on.
Sicily played his way back into some form. Ginnivan. It's a little too wide for Deere. It bounced away from him.
That was Jack Ginnivan. People love him. People hate him. He's a seriously smart player. That's an angled fist on that spoil, and he knows that it's going to skim on and give an extra 25, 30 metres, which is invaluable in these types of conditions.
And what's invaluable is he's not relying on kicking the goals. He's doing that between the arcs. Little 1%ers that are taking his game to another level.
Good tackle. No holding the ball decision.
Yeah, wow.
Crowd wanted it. More. High poke was outstanding. Deere didn't know it was coming.
Well, Zerk Thatcher had absolutely given up on that defense. He just like, oh, well.
He actually stood still on the mark.
Yep.
Sweet.
Big Sweetie.
He's tried his heart out.
Hasn't he?
Outside of the boot. Toe by Morrison. Attacked by Butters. Captaining the team in the absence of Connor Ozee. Good smother on the Evans kick. Burgoyne. Rolls out of play, hasn't been the best of form either. Chase Burgoyne only 9 possessions against West Coast last week. A bit more of it today, but hasn't been able to generate a lot of scoring from them. Sweet. Deere. And get him. Toes it off the deck. The goalkeeper waiting back there. He won't get it. Impey got there first. Hands it up to Gunston. High. Thumped away from D'Ambrosio. Kick off the carpet. Gets it outside 50. Bailey McDonald, the sub. He's over it. Didn't really have it. Got away with it. D'Ambrosio. More.
One of the things that's been noticeable today for Hawthorn, we've seen there's a few smothers there, the tackling's been good. Their attention to the hard things. The last time they played down here was against the Adelaide Crows in the wet, and that's how they won that game, through willpower, contested possession. There's a bit of a return to that today as well, some workman attitude.
Burgoyne again going for a couple of kicks off the carpet instead of going down to pick it up. Sin likewise. Warper just goes and gets it. The coach just wrapped him up, but the ball up to their favour.
Well, they're plus 23 contested possession to him, so that just highlights exactly what you've been discussing in regards to their commitment to the contest today.
75 tackles, 74 to 3/4 time. It's the kind of game which lends itself to a lot of tackling, though, I might add.
Barris just rolls it to battle. Morrison caught. Was that a kick on the full? No. Tough day at the office for Harry Morrison. Tough day at the office for all of them. Skimmed along the deck. Got a little bit of grass on the way out. More dragged down. Going nowhere.
Jamie Limpy's gone forward. Probably in the shuffle to get McDonald into the back line.
Drew turns it over. Carl Amon
Clever run.
gets 60 or 70. He'll make that 80 as it rolls. All the way to Jack, Aaliyah. Well, Jack was content with that. He knew he was going to be tackled.
Yep.
Another ball up. More time off the clock. Closer to a win.
He took the stalemate then.
Ginnivan. Burgoyne. Missed Drew with the handball and now has popped that mess up. Back to Drew, stolen. Warple on hands and knees. Sicily, clean-handed again. Ginnivan to Clever. Inside to Ward. Slung, got a handball away just in time. Nash. Ginnivan. Sin.
That's the 100-kilo frame of your midfielder, Connor Nash, just going in there and just sorting out things. Just with sheer body mass, he's able to win that ball.
The midfield's about half a ton, dude, with John Newcomb then.
And Big Lloyd.
Well, the Irishman won't mind these conditions, will he, do?
He'd be happy with these. In fact, he'd be feeling he won't be homesick.
No. He's been good as a pickup, Connor Nash. Ward around the body. In fact, he came to Australia 3 times from Ireland before deciding to move here and have a crack at an AFL career, Connor Nash, and 112 games in.
Only one thing left for him. He just needs to find someone who makes a good Guinness.
Down the line they travel. What, for post-game, you mean, Dern?
Yeah.
Tell you what, these guys will be in the shower for about an hour and a half. Ward bangs it back towards half forward. Zerk-Thatcher got there, but he fumbled it. Trouble. Impey. Zerk-Thatcher. Nash again, the man we're speaking of, feeds it back. A little too slick, and Lorenz holds it up.
Just hobbling now, Zerk-Thatcher, after that contest. That's the corkies you're talking about. He's feeling this one. Dicko.
Sam Mitchell, 13th, 16th and 6th in his 3 seasons as coach before this one. And they do look finals bound now. Nash wrapped up, sweet. Rolls in cautiously. It's not wrapped up a finals berth for them with this victory, Hawthorn, but they're closer if they can get it done. Port Adelaide 2 goals away from tying things up, and there's an eternity left. But they need a hero from somewhere in a hurry. Kicking against the breeze, the odds against them. Sweet's been the guy. Not for him, they might be 5 goals down. Lukosius.
Just momentarily dried a little bit here too.
Heads out wide, bang, Sicily went hard. Took to Sharon, took Richards, hands it off. McDonald.
Quick.
Used his jets and heads long. Could they get a knockout blow here, Hawthorn? Off hands, Meek. Ginnivan. Not caught high.
Oh, the Nash again. The size of him.
Watson deliberately put it down, goes back and gets it. Almost throws that away. He did throw it away. The umpire's right on it.
Look at the size of Nash just to move.
Get off the track with a trade.
He's a massive unit.
Still in it, Port Adelaide. Their season hanging by a thread. Lord got there. Can't mark it. Lukosius can't quite crumb it.
Still got your raindrop theory in my head, Dermot. So if the rain's coming in sideways, does that help the ball? Like you said, if it comes down onto the ball, it stops the ball. What are you talking about?
Kind of.
Wait for the thesis. I'll put out a 48-page document at some stage, Derm, I'm sure. Corporal caught, taken out.
Deakin University want to fund it. I've been told.
University of Tasmania, thank you.
Yes, that's it. There you go.
UTAS Stadium we are, of course. Back inside. Slapped towards Ward. Keeps it in, wants to keep going. Gets it inside 50. Over the back, a slip from Gunston, still a chance. He's kicked miracle. That's one for all time.
If that's in, that could be the goal of his career.
I reckon it's in. Jono to the naked eye.
Porter setting up. You can't kick them.
Oh, it went pretty deep.
Oh, I know. You can't kick them, Blake.
The umpire calls touch behind. Please check the ball.
Review complete. Looking at this angle, we can see the ball is touched before crossing the back of the goal line. Decision on the
Look where
scoreboard.
Gunston is. He's in the gutter. That's how good it was.
It's a very good spot.
Best behind of the year. Yeah, what an effort, though.
And once again, he won the ball through smarts. Knew he couldn't impact that.
Jones held his ground. So it's cleared up a bit. Port Adelaide now need 3 scores at least. There's an eternity left. If they get a goal here, they're going to put a big scare in them. They've had some epic victories over Hawthorn before. The Darcy Burn-Jones goal of the death, of course. No need to remind Hawthorn fans of that. Can they fight this one out and steal the unlikely? Against the breeze, against the rain, against the odds. Jones. Not sure what that was about. What is that about?
No, that's a brain fade. He's been good. He gives everything he's got, but he just didn't think his way through that.
McDonald sets it up. Oh, double fisted this time for Duke. That got it to Aaliyah. Boak. Running through. Bailey McDonald. Can he knock him out? The super's up. Bailey McDonald with his first goal in AFL footy. What a time for him.
What a celebration. To match, but the pickup was unbelievable. 7 Mitchell, he shot that all week. How good is that?
Mitch is laughing at the 4 coat hangers after he got it.
Scripshaw held him up.
But look at the pace here. They just didn't expect somebody to come through with that kind of wind.
Wow, look at him go. Scripshaw's got him.
He's off to the races and he's still going. Let me fly.
Look at that
Just there. He split the gap with pace. They get 2 weeks for that swim short. Head high tackle.
Fantastic moment. Game 7 for him. First goal of his career. Bergman thumps it long. And getting there, Barras.
Got better as the game's going on. Big Barras.
Played with Sam Mitchell, which is pretty rare for a coach to have played with players that he's coaching, teammates. With Jack Gunston as well. Sam Mitchell, and so much on offer for him as a coach now. 4th season as coach. Haven't wrapped up a final spot just yet, but they were threatening last year when they finished 6th to do some damage in the finals. It was Port Adelaide who ended their season last year, Hawthorn, and it's now Hawthorn on track to end Port Adelaide's season this year. They say revenge is a dish best served cold, but it's been served in the cold today. Battle gets it out. Moore hammers it to half forward. Gunston can't quite trap it, but he fights the fight. Boak on hands and knees. Is he going to play next year under Josh Carr? Another big decision for the Port Adelaide Footy Club to make.
So with 11 minutes, 10 seconds to go in this quarter, this game, you posed the question before, does Curry take a bigger hand next week?
You have to let Ken coach the showdown at least. Surely.
Well, that's a free. I'm with you show Ken respect and say, well done, you let him walk. I reckon that's respectful.
He's not the walking kind, though.
I know he's not, but
I'd let him coach it out.
I think that's a dignified way to do it myself, but
I think you'd go to Ken and ask him.
And I think you'd want to coach it out.
yeah, I'm with you, Dicko.
Oh, they're away.
Here we go. Newcomb has a little bounce on the slippery deck. Newcomb from 50. Oh, that was clever. Let the export player knock him out completely.
Oh, scun it. Oh, he scun it, Joe, an empty.
He was in two minds. He was am I passing him or having a shot?
Been a great pickup. Missed one game in 3 seasons, the last 3 seasons. Xiaomi Mi.
And he did a knee with the Hawks early on.
McDonald is going to enjoy his shower. Unless he has to do those laps that they force the subs to do when they only play a quarter and a half. They couldn't send him out there to do 5K at the conclusion of this, could they?
If it rains, they probably won't. Otherwise, the cold, they'll say, you're out there, son.
This time last season, Hawthorn was 11th and Port Adelaide was 7th. How much things can change. And Will Day is available. I mentioned the showdown for Port next week. Hawks have Carlton, and Will Day might be available next week. A massive inclusion that might be. Impey goes and plucks it. Boak, what's that, Travis?
Yep, desperation. First thought is to get it away from the Hawthorn forward.
Watson, top of the square, through the hands of Zerk Thatcher. Close again.
Out the back, I keep telling you, they keep going out the back in this weather.
Yep, slippery ball and with the breeze. Three goals, 2 now for Jack Gunston.
Oh, that's shallow.
And it's back into the trouble zone. Gunston, half held, Impey. This time, Jarman on target.
Light kick, just didn't have penetration on it. Just about there, come off the instinct, didn't it? And then you're in a world of bother. Could have been just a half free kick there, and you can take a punt at this time of the game.
So Jack Gunston here as well. It's the experience again. You talked about in these conditions, just really puts his body so that he can just keep the ball in that zone. And if Impey wasn't there, then obviously Gunston's the one coming through again to maybe go off the ground himself. He's in good form, Jack Gunston. Like 3 goals, 2 today. He could have easily been 5 goals.
We talked before the game about the midfield, some of the midfield players who dropped away, but his last 6 rounds, as you can see, as illustrated.
And his last 5 minutes in the forward line's like hasn't been
a
there.
reward.
Yeah. He's just hunting for a goal.
Lead to the head.
Advantage paid. Hammered long, but they've got all the answers at the moment. Hawthorn, Scrimshaw would like that back. Lord flings it away. Wines. Darcy Byrne-Jones rolled cautiously in the tackle.
Played aggressively, Scrimshaw, hasn't he? His tackling has had purpose today. It's like, Mitch, you left me in the Magoos too long. I wanted to be back earlier than this.
Well, it was when Mitch publicly went him 3/4 time
last year.
Turned the whole thing around. Georgiades, can he turn this around and get a goal? Still 8:47 left.
That's strong in the contest from Georgiades. They just were able to sort of continue the fight here. Hawthorn had plenty of numbers around all of this. Sometimes you just get the bobble go your way out of this congestion as well, which happened on that occasion for Port Adelaide. Gets it to a spot, skids through.
Well worked by Ollie Wines. I mean, he forced it into the dangerous side of the stoppage, which is the spine, back into the middle.
Sweet's been their best player today for Port Adelaide. Needs to get it right here. If they are to kick another one quickly, he has to dominate this centre bounce.
Georgiades began the weekend second in the race for the Coleman as well. Adds another to his tally. So the clearance can't play on. Farrell. Port Adelaide, essentially whole season, coming down to 8 minutes now. Williams, 7 goals in the sample last week. Brought on as the sub. Clearest conditions we've had for the whole game. The players still going off the deck. Nash. Sweet still working hard. Head down. Not high. Jones hands it over. Meek. Sweet. Through hands, Warple. Drew lays the tackle, but the handball released to Moore, who hammers it. Goes for territory. The Wizard. Sure what he was doing there, the Wizard, but he didn't pick the ball up and do it. Zerk Thatcher feeds it back. Sin didn't take it out. Moore kept it alive, maybe to his detriment. He put Warple under the hammer.
I like what happened when the ball was on the back flank. The Wizard was 40 metres ahead of the ball. He sprinted an extra 80 metres back into the forward line to, as the modern vernacular would be, stretch the field so that the defenders couldn't cram up behind the next kick.
Let go.
Barrison. Georgiades wrestle. Drew again goes for the kick off the deck instead of picking it up and hammered away this time by Abon through the hands of Aaliyah. Scoop up was delightful. Gunston to Moore. Didn't get enough on the kick. Or did he? The Wizard. He's conjured another. Jarman Empey. Got 2. The finisher.
Had to trap it, Aaliyah. Had to trap it.
Couldn't let the ball get behind him on that occasion. Jarman Impey has enjoyed his last quarter, but he's finishing the game. He's up to 24 and kick 2. You've got Dylan Moore 30 and kick 2 as well. In these conditions, they are massive numbers.
Yeah, he's an 11 out of 10 in the air, Aaliyah, and a 5 or 6 out of 10 on the deck. You know, he's not that sure on the ground, but you've got to stop that.
But even the secondary one here with Sin one hand in these conditions always going to slip through.
Enjoying himself there.
Yeah, well, the rotation there, it's Blake Hardwick's had his chances down there, Sicily at times last quarter. And now it's Impey's turn as the defender move forward.
Moore. He was a big part of the first half, reason why Hawthorn brilliant early. Morrison looks the handball wide. Impey stalking number 3. Step past a couple. How about that? How about that?
He bluffed. He double bluffed Aaliyah here. Aaliyah expects him to go in reverse away from goals to get width on a right-hand snap. So he allows a little outlet towards goal. And Impey says, well, I'll take that, and runs there. Watch him. So he makes out he wants to go back onto his right, and Lear he gives him the Olay. He holds the bucket out there and goes, Olay, through you go.
You know what else I love? He's got the forward goggles on. There's 2 guys free in the middle of the ground. He goes, no, boys, I'm going for 3 in a row.
One just stepped through the first one.
Let's have a look at the live ladder here. The Hawks, they put a little bit of percentage on here today. Couple of percent, up 118.6 up into 4th.
Yeah, this is huge. They needed to get the job done. They're so good here in Launceston. They're home away from home, Hawthorn. This is their final game here this season. And in the end, they've handed out a bit of a lesson. So Carlton next week at the MCG, then Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval for Hawthorn. 3 tougher games at Adelaide Oval, Collingwood MCG, and Brisbane at the Gabba in their final game of the season. As Moore toes it off the deck into a pretty good spot. Aaliyah. Deer came at him. Dangerous spot to hit though. Deer. Jack. He's having some fun in the wet. High ball. Zerk Thatcher. Impey wants another. Couldn't get 4, could he? Morrison. Sin. Wrapped up. Crowd still baying for blood. Ginnivan might give them some.
It's a good last quarter, isn't it? Compared to what they did in the last quarter last week, the Hawks. This will please Sam Mitchell, the fact that they've run it out tough conditions, fight all day, and then to finish this way.
4 goals 3 to 1 goal straight in this final quarter. But the hard work, they broke their backs predominantly in the first 3 quarters. They had to have some kind of lead at 3-quarter time to hold up here, Port Adelaide. So the last 7 or 8 minutes has been fun for the Hawks.
We'll give him the aeroplane here. Back to Kenny if he kicks it, Jack.
Yes.
Yes, he
So he gets it.
Well done, Kenny. He's a good man, Kenny. He's taken that in great spirits. Sometimes you just got to lick your wounds, don't you?
And that's a brilliant celebration.
I'm gonna
Not over the top.
Well done, Ken.
Just flying low today.
Yeah.
Just had the head down, wings out.
Well done, Kenny.
Is he gonna? Is he gonna? Yes, he has. I love it.
It was a sheepish one too, wasn't it? No, I'm applauding Ken for having a giggle at that. That's like Kenny's just stood up and said touche. Well done.
Brilliant sportsmanship, really, from Kenny there.
Yes.
The fans, a bit of pantomime booing as well when Kenny was shown on the big screen, but he's been a fantastic coach for Port Adelaide. He just won't be a Port Adelaide premiership coach come the end of his time here. Mead squeezed it inside 50, cut off the deck by Williams. Lorenz over it.
He's done an incredible job. It's a hostile environment in Adelaide to coach Port Adelaide, but have them up for so long.
Sweet knocks it down in the congestion again. Drew trying to feed it out. Hardwick has been brilliant. Slung, Wines, one of their best contributors again. High ball, it's going to be paid the mark. No one took it. Boak! Trapped by Sicily, who's had a ton of it. Chips it, not the required. D'Ambrosio told to go. This is if Sicily kicked it deliberately short so he can get the handball back. Aaliyah, intercept mark specialist, can't complete it. Nash. Dear little toe. Burgoyne's maybe had more kicks off the deck than he has actually from his hands.
Yeah, he wasn't going to get caught too much punishment there, Burgoyne, not at this stage of the game.
Ken's best chance to win a flag as coach probably came in the 2014 prelim when Hawthorn defeated Port by 3 points. Sam Mitchell was one of the best on ground in that game. Port had a shot to win the game in the last minute.
They came back hard at the time, didn't they? Yes.
You could argue that was Ken's best chance to win a flag. Who knows, you might end up winning one coaching someone else. Hardwick shoots it out. Scrimshaw, had a good return game. Sicily, back to Scrimshaw. Ward, been brilliant. The Hardwick, the usual suspects. Thatcher with the double fist. Farrell through Scrimshaw's hands, so we're wrapping him up, but it is a slippery ball as you see Ward unable to pick it up. Scrimshaw does, cleans it up. Hardwick holding off the inside kick to Amon. Good grab taken by Mead. So back into the lineup this week, Jackson Mead. Burgoyne.
I'm just looking 100 metres to the right off screen. And Jarman Impey has run to the goal square hoping for one easy one over the top in the last 3 minutes.
Darcy Byrne-Jones inside. Scrimshaw goes to the big fist. Precocious to Wines, to Mead. It's got a bit on that, and it's starting to shape a bit. Earlier behind.
One positive for Port Adelaide has been Jordan Sweet-Durham. We've spoken about him since quarter time. He's up to 196 ranking points. Best this year by any player is 198. So, well, one more contest. And
Meek beat him in the first quarter, and he's fought back brilliantly. We sort of sensed it, didn't we, at quarter time, halfway through the second quarter, that Yeah, he loves this contest with Lloyd Meek. Here he is again. Oh, that won't help.
Yeah.
You get minus for that. He's stiff. Apart from Lloyd Meek, the only other bloke on the team who can catch him and hold him. Connor Nash.
Through fists. Deer stripped. McInnes. A little nudge on the kick. It's still alive. Burgoyne grabs and goes. McDonald flicks it to Warple. Big stiff arm. Put out the jousting stick. Got away with it as well. Straight to the chest. Little toe off the deck. Morrison. Good dance. Can he go all the way? Aaliyah should cut it off. Oh! Trouble in paradise now. Farrell went and got it. Tumbles it away, but the Wizard's lurking. Slap it to me, the Wizard says. And he chips it to a chest. Big Mickey couldn't pull it in. Sweetie! Best stuff like a bull. Scrimshaw. They're playing it out at least, these two.
Yeah.
Haven't shut up shop. Harwick.
Go, here's your legs.
Marley McDonald again. He does love to run.
That's a 4-metre pass.
It's a mongrel. Darcy Byrne-Jones can't quite do something with it. More content to be slung out.
Spitting that, isn't it, with the Connor Nash size in the wet when it's hard to hang on with your fingers when you're tackling a turning body. Connor Nash's sheer size is invaluable in these wet, slippery conditions.
Port Adelaide's had Hawthorn's measure in recent times. Semi-final last year, round 5 earlier this season. This will be a big win as Warple. Ginnivan. Aaliyah goes off the carpet. Got away with it. Aaliyah again. Thump back. 30 seconds left for a Hawthorn cherry on top. Maybe. Bailey McDonald wraps him up. Rain continues to bucket down. Drew. Scrimshaw. Back into the middle with the fist. Harwick collects. A little poke pass, and that should do us. Ambrosio holds it up as the seconds tick down. And Ken Hinkley's Port Adelaide Premiership dream is over. Sam Mitchell's Hawthorn coaching Premiership dream well and truly alive. The Hawks with a victory stalking a top 4 spot come the end of the home and away. Big win in the end by 38 points, 13-9 to 7-7. Enjoying it, really. The pantomime villain. AFL gave him a $20,000 fine for taunting Jack Ginnivan with the aeroplane, but it's given back to him now by the crowd who are doing the aeroplane to him as we head down to Ben Dixon.
Thank you, Dwayne, here with the second best number 19. No, Dussel's third. Now, Jack, tough conditions. It sort of just calmed down a little bit in the last quarter. Tell us how tough that was early.
Yeah, it's a bit of a grind. Had some high giants down here in the wind earlier in the year, but it was a matter of we didn't have the wind in the first quarter, so it was getting off to a hot start, which is our focus anyway. So, look, it was even at quarter time, so it gave us real confidence going into the second.
What about the three-quarter time address from Sam? Don't want to rip the Band-Aid off from last week, but you didn't finish the game off. What were the instructions?
We wanted to keep attacking. That's the best. That's the way we play our best footy, and we wanted to keep piling on the scores and play a front half game. And yeah, obviously we didn't do that last week. We reviewed it. I thought our front half game in that last quarter was a lot better.
You're on fire. I'm just going to say it. You almost kicked the goal of your career. You had a lot. You slid in. You had a little angle from behind. Did you think it had gone through?
I thought it had. I think there was a lot more hope than anything, but yeah, I'll go through one day. It's all right.
What about McDonald kicking his first goal in the celebration? He was hard to catch. He was keen.
I got my sprint up for the game, trying to catch him. He was up and about. And it's just the energy that those young guys bring in, and it's awesome to see him kick his first goal. And he played really well. He's played pretty good footy all year, to be honest.
And we love Sam Mitchell, the way he lets you guys express yourself. You're one of the more senior statesmen, as you would say. But Ginnivan, just a little bit of playing after that celebration back to Kenny. You didn't see it, but Kenny loved it in the box.
I'm sure he did. Kenny, he loves the theatre, and look, we love people being themselves out in the footy field. So Sam embraces that, and we all do. And look, you can do that when you get a win.
And Mitch Lewis comes in, subbed out. So I thought he had a crack and trying conditions to come in, but Giles goes forward, kicks 3 goals, then goes clear it out. I want 5.
I know, I was saying he looks absolutely stuffed when he's up forward, and then he just takes off and goes. And that's a beauty. We've got some flexibility within the team, and it was awesome to see Giles get on the end of the field.
And the respect for you, I've got the umbrella. Any other player be like this? Well done, Jack. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, mate.
It was a workman-like afternoon, wasn't it, John? I mean, they really did break the backs of the opposition in the first 3 quarters, and they still expected some stiff resistance in the last quarter, but it was always going to go Hawthorn's way, all things being equal thereafter.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Port Adelaide had a crack today. They would be reasonably sort of pleased with the effort today to get the result that they were after. And that's because Sam Mitchell moved Xiaomi Mi forward in the last quarter, and here he is with Dicko.
Yes, I'm here with Giles. Look, it's just shivering. It can't be that cold, mate. You've been out here 4 quarters slugging it out, is it?
Yeah, I was trying to run around and get a kick because I was so cold, but it was a good performance by the boys. We stuck fat for 4 quarters, so very pleasing.
What about going down there and kicking 3? Did you think you had 5 in you?
Yeah, I missed a couple. No, you just got to take your opportunities. But the boys shared the football, and I spoke about the camaraderie of the group, and especially the forward line. So that's a goal for all of us.
And Guinea celebrates with the plane. Kenny up in the box loved it. We put the camera straight on him. The theatre's fantastic, isn't it?
Theatre is good. That's what makes this game so special. I did not see that celebration from Guinea, but yeah, wish him all the best, mate.
What about Sam and the disappointment from last week to come here and get it done against Port, who there's been plenty of feeling over the years with this team?
Yeah, it has been plenty of feeling over the little while. They've had our measure the last few times, so it was good to get the win, and especially coming off the back of the performance last week.
You want the kicker now, Jars? I actually went in at 3/4 time and tried to use the hot water. There's no hot water for a shower. How's that feel?
They turned it off. Maybe we don't need to steal that jacket.
Yeah. Well done, mate.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Move forward in the last quarter.
He's freezing, isn't he? Look at he's like
genuinely
trying to get inside.
One of the things you would have seen it when your time. I played with a couple of Indigenous lads, and when it got wet and cold, they were like, come on, mate, just let us go inside.
That's enough.
Do we have to go out and train in this as well? Yeah, they hated the cold, the brothers, but Jarman Impey there shivering, but didn't he have a ball in that final quarter?
Yeah, he was fantastic, and that's been the move of the year, hasn't it, in terms of what Sam Mitchell is doing, whether it's Hardwick or Sicily, and Impey's turn this time to lead them in with that big final term as well. Sicily was excellent today. All the players we spoke about pre-game term that had to really lift in regards to what Hawthorn can achieve in 2025. Well, they lifted today. There's still more there. What a game he played.
I was very pleased for Finn McGuinness as well. Just identified his old role against the one bloke who could probably take the game up to Hawthorn today and put it into Port Adelaide's hands, Zach Butters, and he kept him. He got 18 possessions, but he kept him down to like 42% efficiency. Always there, always tackling.
right, folks, there we go. That is game, set, match. Hawthorn too good today. 13-9-87 defeating Port Adelaide 7-7-49. There we go. The last time Ken Hinkley will get to a chance to beat the Hawks. Of course, Port Adelaide have had a good record against Hawthorn, winning 4 of the last 5 games. Unfortunately, the boys couldn't do it for Kenny today. 38-point victors to the Hawks. Had a fantastic final term, kicking 5 goals, 3. Port Adelaide could only manage 1 goal, 1. There we go. Of course, Jack Ginnivan having a little bit of fun after kicking his goal, doing the aeroplane. Of course, that was in reference to Kenny Hinkley when Port Adelaide put Hawthorn out of the finals, as everyone will remember, especially if you're a Port Adelaide or Hawthorn fan. But it was a good game today. Hawthorn were just way too strong. Look, I think Hawthorn probably had Port Adelaide's measure in each quarter. They certainly handled the conditions a lot better. They were a lot cleaner with the ball. Port Adelaide just couldn't pick it up. It was like a bar of soap, the footy for them today. They just had trouble after trouble. They did give it a good fight up until halfway through that final term, but then it was all Hawthorn putting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goals in that final term. Just too good. And of course, some of their guns, standing tall, kicking fantastic goals for the mighty Hawks. There we go. So Hawthorn have cemented themselves. Let me just stick this ladder on. Let me just see if it's reloaded up. There we go. Hawthorn now jumped from way down here in about 7th they were, I think, up to 4th. Increase that percentage there, now got 3%. Here clear over the Giants, which is good news for Hawthorn. Keeps them above the Giants into 4th. Hawthorn into the top 4. There we go. I tell you what, it's going to be interesting to see what the next matches come. Of course, we've still got Geelong, St Kilda, Gold Coast, Adelaide, Fremantle, Collingwood. We'll see what happens there and how the top 8 is going to change around, but it's going to be fascinating. I tell you what, with only a handful of weeks going to home and away final season, that's all about winning the games up until the finals to try and climb the ladder, because every team has still a chance to finish 2 to 8th. 2 to 8th, you're still a chance. That's not far behind, of course. Only 2.5 games outside of second. Geelong, Gold Coast, Fremantle has still yet to play. So pretty much a game and a half. Anything can happen. Top 4, though, is where you want to be, is where you want to finish the season. But a fantastic win by Hawthorn today, folks. Look, we did have our poll in today. 81% went for Hawthorn. You got that one right. Let's just have a quick look at the stats, because we're going to jump on over to the Sydney-North Melbourne game in just a moment. Let's have a look at the goal scorers. Jarman Impey, Jack Gunston, both with 3 for Hawthorn. Dylan Moore with a couple. Cashler Deer with 2. Nick Watson ended up with 1 with Bailey McDonald and Jack Ginnivan for Port Adelaide. It was Lucasis, I think that's how you say it, and Mitch Georgiades with 2 for Port Adelaide. Jordan Sweet, Lorenz, Ollie Lord were the single goal scorers there for Port Adelaide. Disposal getters, well, only one person in the 30 touches today. And, of course, that was Dylan Moore of Hawthorn. 32 touches he had, 25 kicks, 7 handballs, 2 marks, 9 tackles, 6 clearances, 2 goals. Fantastic effort in a day of, incredible conditions where the wind was blowing a gale. The rain was going horizontal across the screen. I tell you what, it was everyone gets an award for playing, and the supporters out there. Blake Hardwick, next best on 27 for the Hawks. Warple with 26. Ollie Wines, the best for Port Adelaide, along with Jace Burgoyne on 26 touches. Ollie Wines did well in the clearance section, 10 clearances, so he had a pretty good game there as well. Jordan Sweet had a good game, 132 AFL fantasy points if you play that game for him. He had 22 touches, 13 kicks, 9 handballs, 7 tackles, 42 hitouts, 10 clearances and a goal. So he was probably one of the best for Port Adelaide out on the ground today, which was good to see. James Sicily back into a little bit of touch, back into a little bit of form for the Hawks there with 21 touches. He was quite good. Ginnivan was pretty good, also 21 touches with the 1 goal. Only the 1 tackle. He needs to probably work a little bit harder in that game as well. Zach Butters, a bit quieter. Not the usual him today out there. Just the 18 touches, although he did have the 6 clearances. So not too bad, but really they needed him to step up for sure. Jack Gunston, absolutely fantastic today. 13 touches, 9 kicks. He kicked 3 goals too. He nearly kicked goal of the year, but it was just touched on the line. 3 goals too. Could have easily been 4 goals, 1 there for Jack Gunston. He was fantastic, as I said. There are your player stats for today's game. Just looking at the team stats. I know that's reloaded. I'm just going to double check that. There we go. Well, looking at the team stats, it was plus 78 to Hawthorn, so they got away with this game really, really well. And if you have a look at the inside 50s, Hawthorn dominated there, plus 21 inside 50s, 65 inside 50s, Port Adelaide 44, so in control. As I said, that the second term had just about lived down in Hawthorn's forward half for their disposal efficiency. Look, these numbers, don't take these with a grain of salt. It was just those conditions where the efficiency was a little bit lacking out there today. Of course, the umpires, they favoured Hawthorn early in the free kicks, 21-14. It was plus 7 there, but the game was a little bit better umpired after half-time. Hit-outs, again, Hawthorn plus 14. The clearances, Port Adelaide won that by 1, and that was in the centre clearances, 9-10. So all pretty even for both sides there. Stoppage clearances, 41 apiece. So contested possessions, look, it was a reasonably good contested game there. What's that? 29 plus to the Hawks. Uncontested, well on control there. Plus 56 there. As I said, the turnover. Look, in this type of game, it was going to be high. It was hard. It was slippery. It was wet. It was windy. It was always going to be a high turnover game. 84-92, 54-30 marks. Plus 24 to Hawthorn. Marks inside 50. Hawthorn did the better there. 10-7 plus 3 there. Look, it was a pretty good effort from both sides, even to get that many on a day like this. But that is today's game, folks. Hawthorn taking on Port Adelaide. Hawthorn were just too good on the day. Of course, their first victory in their last 5 outings against Port Adelaide. So they'll be happy. They're back on track for finals. They actually played some pretty good football out there today. And I think if you're Hawthorn, you'll be very happy with the way they went about their game today. All right, folks. Hey, that's all I've got for this one. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. I really do appreciate coming in, listening to the coverage, having a chat in the chat, the Collingwood Nest. There we go. Crystal was in there. Of course, Adrian was in there. Trish was in there. Preddick was in there. Nath J was in there. Stephen was in there. Good stuff. Tine was in there. Xander's World was in there. Everyone was in there as well, which is all great to see. There we go. All right. Hey, thanks everyone for coming on in. Hey, if you want to come and spend a little bit more time with everyone, we're going to jump over. I'm going to end this live. I'm going to start a new one because we're going to head over to the Sydney Swans taking on North Melbourne game. Over at that game there, that is starting now. The ball is about to bounce, so we're going to be in that game in about the 5-minute mark. So if you want to tune on in there, we'll look forward to seeing everyone over there. So until that game, ciao for now, and we'll see you over at the North Melbourne Sydney game.